Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited you're here because today we're diving deep into messages from your twin flame in this timeless love reading. Whether you're actively connected, separated, or still waiting to meet, let's create a safe space together to explore the energies surrounding this profound connection. Now, this isn't just about romance. It's about soul growth, mirrors, and the journey of two souls intertwining. Remember, this reading is timeless, so whenever you're watching this, the messages are meant for you. We'll be looking at the current energies, potential paths, and what your twin flame wants you to know right now. So let's get started. We have 4 beautiful crystal piles for you to choose from today. First, we have the Amazonite sun representing seeds of potential and cultivating harmonious growth. Next, we have the agate sphere for unveiling reflections, all about clarity and recognition. Then, we have the amethyst tower, symbolizing bridging realities and harmonizing the spiritual and physical. And finally, we have the opal raw crystal for echoes of the past, integrating lessons and setting healthy boundaries. Take a moment to breathe and connect with your intuition. Which crystal are you most drawn to? There's no pressure at all, and it's absolutely okay to check out multiple piles if something calls to you. Trust what feels right. And now, let's take a moment to make a wish for clarity, healing, and deeper understanding on your twin flame journey. Close your eyes, focus on your heart, and send your intention out into the universe. May you receive the messages you need most, sending you so much love and light. Okay, so Amazonite sun is all about nurturing, right? And that ties in so beautifully with our theme today, seeds of potential, cultivating harmonious growth. It's like we're planting seeds of love and watching them bloom, and this crystal just amplifies that energy, really helps things grow. Let's jump into these cards because, wow, this is a powerful combo. We have the sun, the tower, and the empress. Okay, so first the sun. I mean, how amazing is that? The sun is like pure joy, happiness, success, vitality. It's that feeling of absolute bliss, like everything is just working out perfectly, Think of it like that summer day when you're just laughing with your friends, or that feeling when you accomplish something you've been working towards forever. It's just pure, unadulterated happiness. And in a love reading, especially a twin flame reading, the sun can represent finally finding that person who just lights you up from the inside out. Like they bring out the best version of you and you feel completely seen, completely accepted, and completely loved. It's that feeling of, wow, I'm finally home, it's beautiful. And then we have the Empress, which is just, oh my gosh, the Empress is abundance, creation, fertility, nurturing. It's like all the good things in life flowing towards you. Think about it like the sun is the potential for happiness, and the Empress is actually manifesting that happiness into your life. She's Mother Earth, she's growth, she's beauty, she's just this incredible creative force. In terms of a relationship, the Empress is that deep, unconditional love, that feeling of wanting to nurture and care for your partner, to build a beautiful life together, to create something amazing together. Whether that's a family, a business, or just a really, really strong connection. It's that feeling of being deeply connected on a soul level, like you're meant to be together, you're meant to create together. So, right now, I'm seeing this picture of just like ultimate happiness, ultimate potential, ultimate creation with these first 2 cards, It's like the universe is saying, yes, this is it. This is the connection you've been waiting for. This is going to bring you so much joy and so much abundance. It's so beautiful, right? I'm getting like serious soulmate vibes or even like twin flame confirmation, Like, yes, this is the real deal. This is what you've been searching for. This is going to be amazing. Just feeling like I'm seeing the start of something truly incredible, a foundation built on love, joy, and mutual growth, which is amazing. But then we have the tower. The tower. Okay, so this is where things get interesting, right? Because the tower is like, bam, it's sudden change, unexpected upheaval, destruction of old structures, ego death. It's like everything you thought you knew is suddenly shattered, and you're left standing in the rubble, wondering what the heck just happened, right? It's scary. It can be scary. But it's also necessary, Because the tower comes in to clear out what's no longer serving you, to break down the false foundations that you've been building your life on, so that you can rebuild on something stronger, something more authentic, something more aligned with your true self. So, in the context of a twin flame reading, the Tower could represent a sudden and unexpected challenge in the relationship. Maybe it's a big argument, maybe it's a betrayal, maybe it's just a realization that things aren't what they seem. It could be something external, like a job loss or a move, that puts a strain on the relationship. Or it could be something internal, like one or both of you going through a major personal transformation that shakes things up, It's like the Tower is saying, okay, you thought you had it all figured out, but guess what? You don't, and that's okay. Because this is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become stronger, both individually and as a couple. I know it sounds intense, right? But trust me, the Tower is ultimately a good thing, even though it doesn't feel like it at the time. It's like a necessary storm that clears the air and makes way for new growth. So, here's what I'm thinking, okay? We have this initial burst of joy and abundance with the Sun and the Empress, this feeling of finally finding the one, this incredible potential for a beautiful, loving relationship. But then, the Tower comes in and throws a wrench in the works. Maybe it's a sudden challenge, maybe it's a painful realization, maybe it's just a period of intense change and upheaval. Whatever it is, it shakes the foundation of the relationship and forces you to question everything you thought you knew. But here's the key, okay? The Tower doesn't necessarily mean the end of the relationship. It means the end of the old relationship, the relationship built on false pretenses or unrealistic expectations. It's like the Tower is clearing the way for a new, stronger, more authentic relationship to emerge. It's like you have to tear down the old house before you can build a new one, right? And sometimes, that tearing down process is painful and messy and scary, but it's also necessary. And that's where the Empress comes back in, okay? Because even after the Tower, even after all the chaos and upheaval, the Empress is still there, waiting to nurture and rebuild. She's the promise of new growth, new beginnings, new abundance. It's like the Tower might have shaken things up, but it didn't destroy everything. It just cleared the way for something even better to emerge. The Empress is like, okay, so things got a little crazy for a minute there, but don't worry, I've got you. We're going to rebuild, we're going to create something even more beautiful than before, something stronger, something more aligned with your true selves. So, I'm seeing this as a journey, okay? It's not just a smooth, easy path to happiness. It's a journey with ups and downs, twists and turns, challenges and triumphs. But ultimately, it's a journey that leads to deep, lasting love and abundance. Think about it like this. The Sun is the initial spark of attraction, the Tower is the necessary challenge that tests the relationship, and the Empress is the ultimate reward for weathering the storm. And maybe this Amazonite sun crystal is there to help soothe that Tower energy, keep you grounded and connected to your heart, so you can navigate those challenges with grace and compassion. I feel like this is saying that you and your twin flame are being called to build something truly extraordinary, but it's not going to be easy, right? There are going to be challenges, there are going to be obstacles, there are going to be times when you want to give up. But if you can stay committed to each other, if you can weather the storm together, you'll come out on the other side stronger and more in love than ever before. It's like the universe is testing you, seeing if you're truly ready for this kind of deep, transformative love. I'm also feeling like this Tower moment is almost like a catalyst, right? Like it's not just random destruction, it's divinely orchestrated. Because without the Tower, you might stay stuck in old patterns, in old beliefs, in old ways of relating. The Tower is there to break those patterns, to shatter those beliefs, to force you to see things in a new light. It's like, wake up, this isn't working. You need to change, and sometimes that wake-up call is painful, but it's also necessary. Because it's the only way to break free from what's holding you back and step into your full potential, And the Empress is key here, because she provides the stability and the nurturing that you need to rebuild after the Tower. She's the reminder that even in the midst of chaos, there is still beauty, there is still love, there is still hope. She's the embodiment of unconditional love and acceptance, which is exactly what you need to get through those tough times. It's like she's saying, I see you, I love you, and I'm here for you no matter what. So, this is what I'm getting, right? This is a powerful connection, a connection with incredible potential for happiness and abundance. But it's also a connection that's going to be tested, a connection that's going to require you to grow and evolve. And that tower moment is going to be a critical turning point, a moment of truth that will determine the fate of the relationship. But if you can weather the storm, if you can stay true to yourselves and to each other, you'll emerge stronger and more in love than ever before, ready to build a beautiful life together, a life filled with joy, abundance, and deep, lasting connection. It's like the sun, the tower, and the Empress are telling a story of transformation, a story of resilience, a story of love that conquers all. And this Amazonite sun crystal, it's just there to remind you to nurture yourselves and each other along the way, to stay grounded in your hearts, and to trust that even in the darkest of times, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. You know. Okay. So now we pull the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh, this is like perfect. The Wheel of Fortune, like, are you kidding me? This is so exciting. Oh my gosh, okay, deep breaths. This card is all about cycles, destiny, turning points, luck. I mean, everything. This just takes everything to a whole new level. Oh wow. Okay, so like, think about it right. We have the sun, which is like ultimate happiness, the Empress, which is ultimate creation, and then bam, the tower. Right. The tower comes in and just shakes everything up. And now the Wheel of Fortune. It's like the universe is just turning, and things are changing, constantly changing. It is all about destiny, right? Like, what is meant to be will be, and you can't really control it. But also, it's about luck. Like, good luck, bad luck, it all comes in cycles. And it's really about knowing that things will change, right? Like, you can't get too attached to the good times because they won't last forever. But you also can't get too down about the bad times because they won't last forever either. It's all about riding the wave, you know? Like going with the flow, trusting the universe. Okay, so how does this connect with the other cards? Right, so like the sun and the Empress, that's all that amazing, beautiful energy, that feeling like you're on top of the world, that feeling of, yes, this is it. This is the one. But the Wheel of Fortune is like, okay, enjoy it while it lasts, but don't get too comfortable because things are gonna change. It's that constant flux, you know? And then the tower. Oh my gosh, the tower. Okay, so like, maybe the Wheel of Fortune is what caused the tower moment. Like maybe the universe was like, okay, things are going a little too smoothly here, let's throw a wrench in the works. Let's shake things up and see what happens. You know? Like, maybe that sudden upheaval was just part of the bigger plan, part of the cycle. Maybe you needed that tower moment to break free from old patterns and step into your destiny. It's also like, destiny, right? Twin flames, they talk about it a lot, and it really makes you wonder. Maybe this connection was always meant to be. Like, you were always meant to meet, you were always meant to go through these challenges, you were always meant to learn and grow together. The Wheel of Fortune can be a big sign of that, like, this is written in the stars. And you know, the Wheel of Fortune is about karmic destiny. Like, maybe you and your twin flame have been through this before in past lives. Maybe you have some unfinished business to take care of, some lessons to learn. And this lifetime is your chance to finally get it right. The Wheel of Fortune is like, okay, here we go again. Let's see if you can do it this time. It's also the cyclical nature of the twin flame journey. Like the ups and downs, the push and pull, the separation and reunion. It's like you get close, then you push each other away, then you come back together again. It's a constant cycle of growth and evolution. And the Wheel of Fortune is just a reminder that this is all part of the process. I think with this Amazonite sun crystal, it's like keeping you grounded during these cycles, right? Reminding you to stay connected to that nurturing energy, that sense of hope, even when things are tough. This crystal is really about helping you to navigate those ups and downs with grace and compassion for yourself and for your twin flame. Okay, so, like, what does this mean for you practically, right? Well, first of all, it means you need to be prepared for change. Like, don't get too attached to anything because things are going to shift. Be open to new possibilities, be willing to adapt, and be ready to embrace whatever comes your way. I know, easier said than done, right? And it also means you need to trust the universe. Like, even when things seem chaotic and confusing, know that there's a bigger plan at play. Trust that everything is happening for a reason and that you're exactly where you need to be. It's a big thing about faith, right? And letting go of control. You know what else it makes me think of? It makes me think that this is calling you to take action. The Wheel of Fortune isn't just about sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It's also about seizing opportunities, taking risks, and making your own luck. Like, the wheel is turning, and you have the power to influence where it lands. So, if you've been thinking about making a change, now is the time to do it. If you've been wanting to pursue a dream, go for it. If you've been feeling stuck, shake things up. The universe is giving you the green light. And it may be scary to step outside your comfort zone, but that is really the way you grow. Maybe it's about expressing your feelings more openly to your twin flame, you know? If you've been holding back, afraid of rejection or vulnerability, now is the time to let those walls down. Be honest, be authentic, and be yourself. The Wheel of Fortune is about taking a chance on love, or maybe it's about setting boundaries. If you've been giving too much, sacrificing your own needs for the sake of the relationship, now is the time to reclaim your power. Set healthy boundaries, prioritize your own well-being, and make sure you're getting what you need from the relationship. And it also means being prepared for anything. Good or bad, things are going to change, so you need to be ready to roll with the punches. Stay grounded, stay centered, and stay connected to your intuition. Because your intuition is going to be your best guide through all of this. And really listening to your gut, your feelings. Because it's so easy to get caught up with your mind, but it is more about feeling. The Wheel of Fortune also tells me that nothing lasts forever, right? The good times won't last forever, so appreciate them while they're here. Soak them up, enjoy every moment, and be grateful for all the blessings in your life. Don't take it all for granted, you know. And then, when the tough times come, remember that they won't last forever either. This too shall pass. You will get through it, and you will come out stronger on the other side. And really, this is all about faith, right? Believing that everything is happening for your highest good, even when it doesn't feel like it. Trusting that the universe has your back, and that you're always being guided and supported. Letting go of control and surrendering to the flow of life. It's close your eyes, trust that you are safe and you are taken care of. With the Wheel of Fortune, you can journal about this. Journal about your fears, your hopes, your dreams. Write about your relationship with your twin flame and what you want to create together. Get clear on your intentions and then release them to the universe. This just feels like such a pivotal moment in your journey, right? Everything is about to change and you're on the verge of something big. It's a catalyst for growth, a sign of destiny, and an invitation to step into your power. It's really all of those things. And the Amazonite Sun Crystal is there to help you stay grounded, stay connected to your heart, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. It also feels like you should get outside and take some deep breaths and realize you are not alone in this. Oh my gosh, and we still have 3 more cards to go. I can't even imagine what they're going to be. Are they going to confirm this feeling of destiny? Are they going to throw another curveball? I have no idea, but I'm so excited to find out. What do you think is coming next? Oh my gosh, okay. Deep breath, are you ready for this? Because, oh my gosh, we just pulled the High Priestess. The High Priestess. Seriously? This is, getting so intense. Okay, so first of all, the High Priestess is all about intuition, right? That deep inner knowing, that voice inside that guides you, even when you don't know why. She's all about secrets and mysteries, the things that are hidden beneath the surface, the things that you can't see with your physical eyes. And she's all about feminine energy, that receptive, nurturing, intuitive side of yourself. So, right away, I'm seeing this connection to the Amazonite Sun Crystal, right? Because that crystal is all about nurturing, and the High Priestess is all about nurturing your intuition, nurturing your inner wisdom, and being able to really listen to your feelings and your heart. Okay, so, how does this connect with the other cards, right? We have the Sun, the Tower, the Empress, and the Wheel of Fortune. So, the Sun is all about happiness and joy, but the High Priestess is okay, but where does that happiness come from? Is it coming from within, or are you seeking it outside of yourself? She's calling you to go deeper, to connect with your inner source of joy. You know what I mean? And then the Tower. Oh my gosh, the Tower and the High Priestess together. That's a powerful combo. Because the Tower is all about sudden change and upheaval, and the High Priestess is like, okay, when everything is falling apart, where do you turn? Do you turn to logic and reason, or do you turn to your intuition? She's like, that Tower moment is actually an opportunity to connect with your inner wisdom, to trust your gut, even when everything seems chaotic and confusing. She's also about the subconscious mind, right? Like, all those thoughts and feelings that are bubbling beneath the surface, the things that you're not even aware of. The High Priestess is like, okay, it's time to bring those things to the surface, to acknowledge them, to heal them. Because those subconscious beliefs can be really running the show, even if you don't realize it. Okay, so, like, what does the High Priestess actually look like, right? She's usually depicted sitting between two pillars, right? And those pillars often represent duality, like the conscious and the subconscious, the masculine and the feminine, light and dark. And she's sitting right there in the middle, right? Like, that's what she's all about, being the bridge between those two worlds, those two sides of yourself. And she's often holding a scroll or a book, right? And that represents knowledge, wisdom, and the secrets of the universe. But it's not just any kind of knowledge, it's intuitive knowledge. It's the kind of knowledge that you can't learn in a book. It's the kind of knowledge that comes from within. So, like, the High Priestess is really about trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, and knowing that you have all the answers you need inside of you. So, like, what does this mean for your twin flame journey, right? Well, first of all, it means that you need to really connect with your intuition, especially when it comes to this relationship. Like, are you getting a clear yes or a clear no? Are you feeling aligned and energized, or are you feeling drained and confused? The High Priestess is telling you to listen to your gut, because your gut knows the truth, even if your mind is trying to rationalize things. And like, I think she's also saying that there might be some secrets or mysteries surrounding this relationship. Maybe there's something that you're not seeing, or something that your twin flame isn't telling you. The High Priestess is calling you to investigate, to dig a little deeper, to uncover the truth, but to do it with compassion and understanding. Like, not in a way that's accusatory or judgmental, but in a way that's curious and open-minded. Because the truth is, we all have secrets, we all have things that we're hiding, and sometimes those secrets are there to protect us, you know? It's also about trusting the timing, right? Like, the High Priestess is all about divine timing, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if you can't see the bigger picture. So, like, if things are moving slowly, or if you're feeling impatient, the High Priestess is telling you to just trust the process, to have faith that everything will be revealed in its own time. It is so important. And she's also about self-care, right? Like, taking time for yourself, nurturing your body, mind, and spirit. Because when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, it's really hard to connect with your intuition. It's really hard to hear that inner voice. So, like, make sure you're getting enough sleep, eating healthy foods, exercising, and doing things that bring you joy. And like, really prioritizing your own well-being. With the Tower, the High Priestess is like, okay, that Tower moment shook you to your core. And that's where you turn inward. Because sometimes we need to step back, be quiet, and listen. The High Priestess with the Sun and the Empress is really about finding that balance between the external world and the internal world, right? The Sun and the Empress are all about action and creation, but the High Priestess is about reflection and intuition. So, it's about finding that sweet spot where you're taking action from a place of inner knowing, from a place of alignment with your true self. She's really teaching you to trust the process, that even with the upheaval of the Tower, you can still grow, you can still love and nurture. The High Priestess is a call to go within. What do you feel about all of this? And remember that intuition is not always logical. It doesn't always make sense. It's a feeling, a knowing. Trust that. So, like, practically, what can you do with all of this information, right? Well, first of all, start paying attention to your dreams, your synchronicities, your gut feelings. Keep a journal, write down your insights, and see what patterns emerge. Like, the universe is always communicating with you, but you need to be open to receiving the messages. And like, try meditating, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. Because meditation is a great way to quiet your mind and connect with your intuition. Just sit in silence, focus on your breath, and see what comes up. And don't judge yourself, just observe your thoughts and feelings without getting attached to them. And practice self-care. Take a bath, read a book, go for a walk in nature, do whatever makes you feel good. And surround yourself with people who support you, who believe in you, and who encourage you to follow your dreams. Because energy is contagious, and if you're around people who are negative and draining, it's going to be really hard to stay connected to your intuition. It feels like now is the time to listen to your heart, to embrace the unknown. Okay, so, wow, this is getting so deep. We've got the Sun, the Tower, the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, and the High Priestess. What is even left to reveal? I'm dying to know what card is coming up next. Oh my goodness, you are not going to believe this. Okay, so, are you ready? Because the next card we have is the Star, oh my gosh, I'm getting chills. After all that intensity, all that upheaval, all that searching. We get the Star, wow, okay, deep breaths, this is amazing. I feel like this reading is just unfolding perfectly. I'm so excited to dive into this and see what it all means for you. Okay, so the Star. Where do I even begin? First of all, the Star is all about hope, right? That feeling of light at the end of the tunnel, that sense that everything is going to be okay, even when things are tough. It's after the Tower, after all that chaos and destruction, the Star is that gentle reminder that there is still beauty in the world. There is still goodness in the world, and there is still hope for the future. Think of it as after a really bad storm, when the sun finally peeks through the clouds, and you see a rainbow in the sky. That feeling of, wow, everything is going to be all right. It's just pure, unadulterated hope, and in a love reading, especially a twin flame reading, the Star can represent healing after a difficult period, finding peace within yourself, and having faith in the future of the relationship, even if things have been rocky. It's that feeling of, okay, we've been through a lot, but we're still here and we're stronger than ever, you know? It's beautiful. So, how does this connect to the other cards we've pulled, right? Well, think about the Tower, right? That card is all about destruction and upheaval. It's everything you thought you knew is suddenly shattered, and you're left standing in the rubble, wondering what the heck just happened. But the Star is the card that comes after the Tower, right? It's the promise of healing, the promise of renewal, the promise that you can rebuild your life, even after everything has fallen apart. It's the Tower is the storm, and the Star is the calm after the storm. And then we have the High Priestess, which is all about intuition and inner wisdom. The High Priestess is telling you to trust your gut, to listen to your inner voice, even when things seem chaotic and confusing. And the Star is okay, you've connected with your intuition, you've found your inner wisdom, now it's time to have faith in the universe. Trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if you can't see the bigger picture. It's the High Priestess is the guide, and the Star is the destination. And of course, we have the Empress, which is all about nurturing and creation. The Star, in a way, is reminding you to nurture yourself, to be kind to yourself, especially after going through such a challenging experience, and to really create the space and time to heal, you know? It is really about giving yourself the permission to feel good. And of course, after the Wheel of Fortune, after all those ups and downs and twists and turns, the Star is okay, you've been through the ringer, you've ridden the roller coaster. Now it's time to find some stability, some peace, some hope for the future. It's the Wheel of Fortune is the journey, and the Star is the resting place. It's the Star is saying, okay, you've been through a lot, but you're still here and you're stronger than ever. You've learned so much, you've grown so much, and you're now ready to step into your full potential. You're ready to shine your light, to share your gifts with the world, and to create a life that is filled with joy, love, and abundance. I'm also feeling the Star is a sign that you're on the right path, right? You're exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't always feel like it. The universe is guiding you, supporting you, and cheering you on. You are on the right track and keep going. So, what does this mean for your twin flame journey, right? Well, first of all, it means that you need to have faith in the future of the relationship, even if things have been rocky. There have been challenges, right? There have been arguments, there have been misunderstandings, there have been times when you've wanted to give up. But the Star is a sign that the relationship is worth fighting for, that there is still hope for a happy ending. It's like you've planted the seeds of love, and now it's time to nurture those seeds, to water them, to give them the sunlight they need to grow. And you know, twin flame relationships aren't always easy, right? They're often intense, they're often challenging, they often trigger deep wounds and insecurities. But that's because they're designed to help you grow, to help you evolve, to help you become the best version of yourself. And the star is a sign that you're both ready to do that work, to heal those wounds, to overcome those insecurities, and to create a relationship that is based on love, trust, and mutual respect. It's like you're both being called to step into your power, to embrace your authenticity, and to shine your light together. You're both being called to create a love that is so strong, so resilient, so unwavering that it can withstand any storm. With the High Priestess, the star shows you how to integrate what you know inside of you, to really trust the whispers of your soul. This is about nurturing your spirit, loving yourself, and really believing in the love you share with this person. Because the only way to find true happiness, true love, is to first find it within yourself. The star is asking you to let go of any expectations you may have about the relationship, and to simply trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. It is really about trusting the universe. And you know what else? The star is also a reminder that you are not alone, you are connected to something bigger than yourself, you are part of a divine plan. You are surrounded by angels, by guides, by loved ones who are cheering you on, who are supporting you, who are helping you every step of the way. All you need to do is ask for their help, and they will be there for you. So, what does this mean for you practically, right? Well, first of all, it means you need to focus on healing yourself, right? Like taking care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Eating healthy foods, exercising, getting enough sleep, spending time in nature, doing things that bring you joy. It's like you can't pour from an empty cup, so you need to make sure you're filling yourself up first. And it also means being kind to yourself, right? Like forgiving yourself for your mistakes, celebrating your successes, and treating yourself with the same love and compassion that you would offer to a friend. It's like you're your own best friend, so you need to treat yourself that way. And it also means letting go of the past, right? Like releasing any resentment, any anger, any bitterness that you're holding onto. It is not serving you. It's only weighing you down. Forgive those who have hurt you, forgive yourself for hurting others, and move on. The universe is always giving you new opportunities, new beginnings, so don't let the past hold you back. And the Amazonite sun crystal is just amplifying all of that nurturing energy, right? Helping you to stay grounded, helping you to stay connected to your heart, helping you to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, with all of the challenges that you have had. This crystal is helping you remember that you are loved, you are supported, and you are worthy of all the good things in life. And it's helping you to attract even more of those good things into your life. Oh, and remember to get outside, to see nature, to breathe, to connect. Okay, so, wow, the star, what a beautiful card. And we still have one more card to pull. I can't wait to see what the universe has in store for you. It's like, this reading has been such a journey already, and I'm so excited to see how it all ends. I'm getting such good vibes for what is to come. Oh my goodness, okay, are you ready? Because the next card we have is the moon, the moon. Oh my gosh, wow, that is so interesting given everything else, right? Okay, deep breaths. Okay, so the moon is like mystery, illusion, fear, the subconscious. It's like all the stuff that's hidden beneath the surface, you know. It's not always like a bad card, but it's definitely a card about being aware of what's not being seen, what's lurking in the shadows, what maybe you're not admitting to yourself. It's about those illusions we create. It's that feeling of walking in the dark and not quite knowing what's real and what's not, you know. Like the star is all about hope and healing, and the moon is like, okay, but what are you really hopping for? What are you really afraid of? What are the things that are holding you back from truly embracing that hope? It's digging a little deeper, you know? It's kind of like, okay, everything is sparkly and great, but let's look under the rug, right? It's not necessarily saying things are bad, just that you need to be aware. I feel like it's saying, not everything is as it seems. So okay, let's connect this to the other cards. We have the Sun, the Tower, the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess, and the Star. So, with the Sun, which is all that joy and happiness, the Moon is like, okay, but is that joy authentic? Is it coming from a real place, or are you just putting on a happy face to hide your fears and insecurities? Are you truly happy or just convincing yourself you are? Maybe, like, there are some unresolved issues that are preventing you from fully embracing that joy. It's not that the joy isn't there, it's just that there might be some shadows lurking beneath the surface that need to be addressed, you know? And then, the Empress. The Empress is all about abundance and creation and nurturing, right? And the Moon is like, okay, but are you nurturing yourself in a healthy way? Are you creating from a place of love and authenticity, or are you trying to fill a void? Are you nurturing others at the expense of yourself? Maybe there's something that needs to be dealt with, like a past trauma or something, before you can fully be in that Empress energy, you know. Like you're giving and giving and giving, but maybe it's because you don't think you deserve to receive, so you overcompensate. Oh my gosh, the Tower and the Moon together? That's a really interesting combination. Because the Tower is all about sudden change and upheaval, and the Moon is like, okay, but what triggered that change? What were the underlying fears and illusions that led to that destruction? It's like, the Tower moment might have been necessary, but it also might have been a result of some unconscious patterns that you weren't aware of. And so, now that you're in the aftermath of the Tower, the Moon is asking you to really examine those patterns, to understand what led to the upheaval, so you can avoid repeating the same mistakes in the future. Like, maybe you were ignoring red flags, or maybe you were clinging to something that wasn't serving you because you were afraid of change, you know. It could even be that you secretly wanted the Tower to happen, because deep down you knew that things weren't working, but you were too afraid to initiate the change yourself. That's a heavy thought, right? And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is all about destiny and cycles. And the Moon is like, okay, but are you aware of the patterns that are playing out in your life? Are you repeating the same mistakes over and over again? Are you caught in a cycle of fear and illusion? It's like, the Wheel of Fortune is turning, but the Moon is asking you to take a closer look at why it's turning in a certain way. Maybe you're attracting certain situations or certain types of people into your life because of some subconscious beliefs that you're not even aware of, you know. It feels like it is time to be really honest with yourself. You know what I mean? And I think this is so key to twin flames, too. Like, what if your biggest fear is actually what you're being called to do? Oh my gosh, and the High Priestess and the Moon. Okay, this is getting really intense. Because the High Priestess is all about intuition and inner wisdom, and the Moon is like, okay, but are you really listening to your intuition, or are you letting your fears and illusions cloud your judgment? Are you trusting your gut, or are you second-guessing yourself? The Moon is saying that your intuition might be getting distorted by your own subconscious patterns, that you might be misinterpreting the signs, or that you might be blocking yourself from receiving clear guidance. Maybe you're afraid of what your intuition might tell you, so you're subconsciously shutting it down, you know. It's about recognizing that even your intuition can be filtered through your own fears and insecurities. And it makes me think of that Tower moment, like, maybe your intuition was telling you something was off, but you ignored it, and that's what led to the upheaval, you know. With the Star, the Moon is saying, okay, you're feeling hopeful, you see the light. But what are the things that are preventing you from fully stepping into that light? What are the fears that are holding you back? The Moon is calling you to confront those fears, to acknowledge them, and to work through them. So that way, that hope, that healing can become real, you know? It feels like it's so important to do this to really move forward. So, what does this mean for your twin flame journey, right? Well, first of all, it means that you need to be really honest with yourself about your own fears and insecurities, especially in the context of this relationship. What are you really afraid of? Are you afraid of getting hurt? Are you afraid of being abandoned? Are you afraid of not being good enough? It's like the Moon is shining a light on all those hidden fears, all those subconscious beliefs that are running the show. And the only way to break free from those patterns is to bring them into the light, to acknowledge them, and to work through them with compassion and understanding. You have to be honest with yourself. And it also means that you need to be aware of the illusions that you might be creating about this relationship. Are you idealizing your twin flame? Are you ignoring red flags? Are you making excuses for their behavior? The moon is saying that you need to see things as they really are, not as you want them to be. It's about being realistic, about being grounded, and about not letting your own fantasies cloud your judgment. It's so easy to fall into that trap, you know? And it also means that you need to trust your intuition, but to also be aware that your intuition can be distorted by your own fears and insecurities. So, how do you know what's real intuition and what's just fear? Well, that's where the High Priestess comes in, right? You need to connect with your inner wisdom, you need to quiet your mind, and you need to listen to that still, small voice within. And you need to be patient, because sometimes the answers don't come right away. Sometimes it takes time to unravel the mysteries of the moon, to understand the hidden patterns that are playing out in your life. That's totally okay. So, what can you do practically, right? Well, first of all, start paying attention to your dreams, because your dreams are a direct line to your subconscious, right? They're a way for your subconscious to communicate with you in a language that you can understand, even if it's a little bit symbolic or metaphorical. Keep a dream journal, write down your dreams as soon as you wake up, and see what patterns emerge. You might be surprised at what your subconscious is trying to tell you. And try doing some shadow work, right? Shadow work is all about exploring the dark side of yourself, the parts of yourself that you don't like to acknowledge. It's about identifying your triggers, your fears, and your insecurities, and then working through them with compassion and understanding. There are tons of resources online about how to do shadow work, so do some research and find a method that resonates with you. It can be scary, but it's also incredibly liberating, you know? And practice mindfulness, right? Mindfulness is all about being present in the moment, about paying attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's about observing your emotions as they arise without getting caught up in them. When you're feeling anxious or fearful, take a deep breath, acknowledge the feeling, and then let it go. Don't try to suppress it, just observe it and allow it to pass. It is what it is. And also, with this Amazonite sun crystal, I think it's about really being gentle with yourself, right? Because the moon can bring up some really intense emotions, some really difficult memories. So, it's important to be kind to yourself, to nurture yourself, and to remember that you're not alone in this. You have the strength, the wisdom, and the support you need to get through this. Hold that crystal close to your heart, visualize its energy surrounding you, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The crystal is there to remind you to keep that nurturing, harmonious growth in mind, and remember to be kind to yourself as you discover new things about yourself. Okay, so, the moon. I'm excited to see how that interacts with the next card. What is coming up next? I can't wait. Oh my gosh, okay, so, after all of that, after all the sunshine and the storms, the intuition and the illusions, we pull death. Okay, I know, it sounds scary, right? But trust me, this isn't about physical death. This isn't about, the end of the world or anything dramatic like that. This is about transformation, okay? This is about endings and beginnings, about letting go of what no longer serves you so that you can make space for something new and better to come into your life. It's the old has to die so that the new can be born, you know? It's the natural cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And honestly, after all those other cards, it makes perfect sense that death would show up, because this whole reading has been about transformation, about shedding old layers and stepping into your true power. So okay, let's connect this to the other cards. We have the Sun, the Tower, the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess, the Star, and the Moon. So the Sun, that's all that joy and happiness, right? Death is saying, okay, but are you holding on to that joy too tightly? Are you afraid of losing it? Are you resisting change because you want to stay in that happy place? Death is reminding you that everything is temporary, that even the good times will eventually come to an end. And that's okay. Because new joys will come along to replace them. So, it's about appreciating the good times while they're here, but also being willing to let them go when it's time, you know? And with the Empress, which is all about abundance and creation, death is okay, but are you creating from a place of authenticity, or are you creating from a place of fear? Are you building your life on a solid foundation, or are you clinging to things that are no longer serving you? Death is calling you to declutter your life, to get rid of anything that's weighing you down, whether it's physical possessions, toxic relationships, or limiting beliefs. It's about making space for new opportunities and new creations to come into your life. Like Marie Kondoing your soul, and oh my gosh, the Tower and death together. That's like a double dose of transformation. Because the Tower is all about sudden change and upheaval, and death is about the ending of an era. So, the Tower might have been a shock to the system, but death is saying that it was a necessary shock, that it was a catalyst for profound change. It's like the universe had to tear down the old structures so that you could build something new and better in its place. And now, death is calling you to fully embrace that change, to let go of the past, and to step into your new reality with courage and confidence. Really, truly leaving that old you behind, With the Wheel of Fortune, which is about cycles and destiny, death is saying, okay, you've been through this cycle before, but this time it's different. This time, you have the opportunity to break free from the pattern, to make a new choice, to create a new destiny. Death is reminding you that you're not a victim of fate, that you have the power to change your life, to create the future you want. It's about recognizing the patterns that are holding you back and then making a conscious decision to break free from them. This is about finally having agency. And then, with the High Priestess, which is all about intuition and inner wisdom, death is like, okay, you've connected with your intuition, you've found your inner wisdom, now it's time to trust it. It's time to take action based on your intuition, even if it's scary, even if it means letting go of something that's familiar and comfortable. Death is calling you to step into your power, to trust your gut, and to follow your heart, even when it leads you down an unexpected path. It's all about trusting that you know best. And the Star, that beautiful card of hope, with death it is saying that you are strong enough to go through this ending, and you are capable of creating the future you want. Have faith in yourself. And oh my gosh, the Moon and death. This is so interesting, because the Moon is all about illusions and fears, and death is about letting go. So the Moon is like, okay, what are you afraid of letting go of? What illusions are you clinging to? What fears are holding you back? And death is like, it's time to face those fears, to confront those illusions, and to let them go. They're not serving you anymore. They're preventing you from stepping into your full potential. So, this is about really digging deep, about confronting your shadow self, and about releasing anything that's no longer aligned with your truth. It's like shining a light on all those dark corners of your soul and saying, I see you, I acknowledge you, and I release you with love. So, what does this mean for your twin flame journey, right? Well, first of all, it could mean the end of the relationship, at least in its current form. It could mean that you and your twin flame need to separate in order to grow and evolve individually. It can be a very sad experience. And it also means that you need to let go of any expectations or attachments you have about the relationship. It's not about forcing things to happen or clinging to an ideal. It's about surrendering to the natural flow of the universe. And remember, it could just be the end of a cycle, right? It's just a transition. It's about trusting that whatever happens is for the best, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. It also means that you need to focus on your own growth and healing, regardless of what happens with the relationship. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, about loving yourself unconditionally, and about creating a life that is fulfilling and meaningful, whether or not your twin flame is a part of it. This is about prioritizing yourself. Because here's the thing, twin flame relationships are often about mirroring, about reflecting back to each other the parts of ourselves that need to be healed. So, if you're not happy with the reflection you're seeing, it's time to turn inward and start working on yourself. The only way to attract a healthy, balanced relationship is to become a healthy, balanced person yourself. You know what I mean, but it might also mean the death of your old self, right? It means shedding old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve you in your life, which is also really great. That, to me, is way more likely. It's time to shed those old layers and step into your power. So, practically, what can you do with all of this information, right? Well, first of all, embrace the change. Don't resist it, don't fight it, just allow it to happen. Trust that the universe knows what it's doing, even if you don't understand it at the time. It's surrender to the flow of life and know that everything is happening for your highest good. Second, let go of the past. Release any resentment, anger, or bitterness you're holding onto. Forgive those who have hurt you, forgive yourself for your mistakes, and move on. The past is over, it's done, it's time to create a new future. It's really so important. Third, declutter your life. Get rid of anything that's weighing you down, whether it's physical possessions, toxic relationships, or limiting beliefs. Create space for new opportunities and new creations to come into your life. Like, actually clean out your closet, you know. Fourth, connect with your intuition. Listen to your gut, trust your inner wisdom, and follow your heart. Your intuition will never steer you wrong. Even if it leads you down an unexpected path, trust that it's the right path for you. And fifth, love yourself unconditionally. Accept yourself for who you are, flaws and all. Treat yourself with kindness, compassion, and respect. You are worthy of love, you are worthy of happiness, and you are worthy of a fulfilling life. You need to remember that. And with this Amazonite sun crystal, I think it's about really nurturing yourself through this process of transformation, right? Because death can be a challenging card, it can bring up a lot of emotions, a lot of fears. So, it's important to be gentle with yourself, to be kind to yourself, and to remember that you're not alone in this. The crystal is there to remind you that you are loved, you are supported, and you are capable of getting through anything. It's there to nurture that harmonious growth within you. And remember, you are amazing, and your journey is just beginning. I know it may not feel like that, but you are in the perfect place to become the best version of yourself, right? And look, this reading isn't about one possible outcome, but about a journey, right? Even if your twin flame relationship changes, ends, evolves, you'll be okay. You are strong, you are resilient, and you are so incredibly loved. Just trust the universe, trust yourself, and keep shining your light. Oh, and one last thing, don't forget to celebrate how far you've come. Take some time to acknowledge your growth, your strength, and your resilience. You've been through a lot, and you deserve to celebrate your journey. So go out there and do something that makes you happy, something that brings you joy, something that reminds you of how amazing you are. I'm so excited for what's to come for you. Okay, wow, agate sphere energy, right? Illuminating. This is all about seeing things clearly, especially those hidden reflections. So, unveiling reflections. Clarity and recognition totally sets the stage for what we're about to dive into here. It's like the agate helps you cut through the BS and really see what's going on, you know? And girl, these cards, they're not messing around. We've got the Page of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Lovers. Buckle up, because this is going to be good. First up, Page of Wands. This card, oh my gosh, it's like a shot of espresso for your soul. It's pure, unadulterated enthusiasm, like a kid with a sparkler. You know that feeling when you get a brand new idea and you just can't wait to run with it? That's the Page of Wands energy. It's all about new beginnings, new adventures, and just like this unshakable belief that anything is possible. For you right now, this could mean a bunch of things. Maybe you're about to stumble upon a new creative project that just lights you up from the inside out. Or maybe you're going to get some kind of message, an email, a text, a DM, something that just ignites this fire within you. It could even be a person, someone new who comes into your life and just like inspires you to see the world in a totally different way. But here's the thing, with the Page of Wands, it's all about potential. It's the seed of an idea, not the fully grown tree. So you've got this spark, this excitement, but you need to nurture it, you need to give it some direction. Don't just let it fizzle out, okay? Think about what you've been wanting to manifest, what you've been dreaming about. Is there something that you've been putting off, something that you've been too scared to try? The Page of Wands is like a cosmic green light telling you to go for it. Like seriously, what are you waiting for? And with this twin flame energy in mind, I'm wondering if this Page of Wands energy is coming from your twin flame, or maybe it's inspiring you to reach out to them. It could be a message about them, or a message that you need to send to them. Ooh, this is getting juicy. Okay, but hold on, because we can't just get all caught up in the excitement without being smart about it, right? That's where the Queen of Swords comes in. The Queen of Swords is like the ultimate truth teller. She does not have time for games, for fluff, for anything that isn't 100% real. She's sharp, she's intelligent, and she's not afraid to cut through the BS with her like laser-focus intellect. Think Miranda Priestly from The Devil Wears Prada, but like with a really good heart underneath it all. Maybe, so after all that Page of Wands excitement, the Queen of Swords is here to say, okay, hold up. Let's think about this logically. Let's analyze the situation. Let's make sure we're not getting carried away by our emotions. This card is all about clarity, about seeing things as they truly are, not as you want them to be. It's about making tough decisions, even if they're not popular, even if they hurt. And with that agate sphere energy, this queen is seeing everything with crystalline clarity. No illusions here, my friend. Maybe you're dealing with a situation where you need to be brutally honest with yourself or with someone else. Maybe you need to set some boundaries to say no to something that isn't serving you. It could be a relationship, a job, a commitment, anything that's draining your energy. The Queen of Swords is also about communication. She's a master of words, and she knows how to use them to get her point across. So, pay attention to the way you're communicating with others. Are you being clear? Are you being direct? Are you being honest? Or are you sugarcoating things to avoid conflict? And with this twin flame connection, the Queen of Swords could be highlighting the need for honest communication between you and your twin. Maybe there are some things that need to be said, some issues that need to be addressed. It might be scary, but it's necessary for growth and healing. But here's the thing, the Queen of Swords can sometimes come across as a little cold, a little detached. So, it's important to balance her energy with compassion and understanding. Don't just go around cutting people off at the knees, okay? Use your intellect, use your clarity, but also use your heart. And that, my friend, brings us to the Lovers. Oh la la. The Lovers card, it's not always about romance, even though that's what everyone thinks. It's really about choices, about alignment, about making decisions that are in harmony with your soul. It's about recognizing your values and living in accordance with them. Yes, it can represent a romantic relationship, especially a really significant one, like a twin flame connection. It could mean that you're about to meet someone who just gets you on a deep soul level. Someone who challenges you to grow and evolve. Someone who reflects back to you all the amazing things that you are. But the Lovers is also about partnerships of all kinds. It could be a business partnership, a creative collaboration, a close friendship. It's about finding someone who complements you, who brings something to the table that you don't already have. With the agate sphere, I feel like this card is telling you to really see yourself in this other person, this potential partner. Are they reflecting back to you your highest self, or are they mirroring some of your insecurities and fears? The Lovers card often shows two figures standing naked before the divine, symbolizing vulnerability, authenticity, and acceptance. It's about showing up as your true self without any masks or pretenses. It's about being willing to be seen, truly seen, by another person. But here's the tricky part. The Lovers is also about choice. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose who you want to be with, what you want to create, and how you want to live your life. It's not about settling for something that isn't right for you, just because it's comfortable or familiar. And with the Page of Wands and the Queen of Swords in the mix, this choice becomes even more important. You've got this exciting new opportunity, this spark of inspiration, Page of Wands, but you need to be clear about whether it aligns with your values and your long-term goals, Queen of Swords. Is this new person, this new project, this new path truly in alignment with your soul? Or is it just a distraction, something that's going to lead you down the wrong road? The Lovers card is urging you to take a step back, to evaluate your options, and to make a decision that feels right deep down in your heart. This could also mean making a choice about your twin flame. Are you going to commit to this connection, even though it might be challenging? Are you going to work through the obstacles and create a lasting partnership? Or are you going to walk away, knowing that it's not the right time or that you're not the right fit? The Lovers card is a reminder that you always have a choice. You are the creator of your own reality, and you have the power to manifest the life that you truly desire. So, choose wisely, my friend. Choose with your heart, choose with your soul, and choose with the clarity of the agate sphere guiding you every step of the way. Okay, so the next card we have is the Two of Pentacles. Ooh, girl, this is interesting, right? Okay, so after all that excitement with the Page of Wands, the truth bombs from the Queen of Swords, and the big choices with the Lovers, the Two of Pentacles is coming in to say, like, okay, let's get real about the day-to-day stuff. You know. It's like life isn't all just sparks and big decisions. It's also about, like, paying the bills and, figuring out how to balance everything. I'm already feeling like this is super relevant. So, the Two of Pentacles is all about balance, right? It's about juggling different priorities, managing your resources, and staying adaptable when things get crazy. It's like you're trying to keep all these plates spinning in the air, and you're hoping that none of them come crashing down. But, like, in a good way, and with this twin flame energy, I'm already thinking about how this could be playing out in your life. Are you trying to balance your own needs and desires with the needs and desires of your twin flame? Are you trying to juggle your career, your family, your friendships, and this intense connection that you have with them? It's a lot, right? It's like, how do you make it all work? Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. The Two of Pentacles is a really grounded card because pentacles are all about the earth element, about practicality and material things. So this card is asking you to get real about your resources. What do you have to work with? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And how can you use what you have to create a sense of balance in your life? This could be anything from your finances to your time to your emotional energy. Like, are you spending your money wisely? Are you managing your time effectively? Are you taking care of your mental and emotional health? Because if you're not, then it's going to be really hard to juggle everything else. And with this twin flame connection, it's even more important to be grounded and practical. Because twin flame relationships can be so intense, so all-consuming, that it's easy to lose yourself in them. It's easy to get caught up in the drama and the emotions and forget about the everyday stuff. But the everyday stuff is what keeps you stable, what keeps you sane. So, the Two of Pentacles is reminding you to stay rooted in reality, even when things get crazy. It's saying, okay, yes, this connection is amazing, but you still have to pay your rent. You still have to go to work. You still have to take care of yourself. But here's the thing, the Two of Pentacles isn't just about being practical, it's also about being adaptable. Because life is always changing, right? Things never stay the same for long. So, you need to be able to roll with the punches, to adjust your plans when things don't go according to plan. And that can be really hard, especially when you're dealing with a twin flame connection. Because twin flame relationships can be so unpredictable, so full of ups and downs. You might feel like you're on a roller coaster, and you never know what's coming next. So, the Two of Pentacles is encouraging you to be flexible, to be open to new possibilities, and to trust that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's saying, okay, things might not be perfect right now, but you're strong, you're capable, and you can figure this out. And with the Page of Wands energy, it's like you're being given this extra boost of enthusiasm and optimism to help you stay positive, even when things get tough. Like, remember that spark? Hold on to that. Now, let's talk about choices, because the Lover's card is still hanging out in the background here. The Two of Pentacles is also about making choices between different priorities. It's about deciding what's most important to you and focusing your energy on those things. And that can be really hard when you have so many different things pulling you in different directions. You might feel like you have to choose between your twin flame and your career, or between your twin flame and your family, or between your twin flame and your own personal growth. But the truth is, you don't have to choose. You can find a way to balance everything, to make it all work. It just takes some creativity, some compromise, and a willingness to let go of perfection. Because perfection is an illusion, right? Nobody's perfect. And the sooner you accept that, the easier it will be to juggle everything. So, with this twin flame connection, the Two of Pentacles could be highlighting the need to make some tough choices. Maybe you need to decide how much time and energy you're willing to invest in this relationship. Maybe you need to decide what your boundaries are. Maybe you need to decide whether or not you're willing to make some sacrifices for the sake of this connection. And these aren't easy questions to answer, but they're important questions. Because if you don't make these choices consciously, then they're going to be made for you, and you might not like the outcome. So, take some time to really think about what you want, what you need, and what you're willing to do to create a sense of balance in your life. Okay, so let's talk about some specific scenarios. How might this Two of Pentacles energy be playing out in your life right now? Well, one possibility is that you're trying to balance your emotions with your logic. Twin flame connections are so emotionally charged, right? It's easy to get swept away by your feelings and forget about your head. But the Queen of Swords is reminding you to stay grounded, to stay rational, and to think things through before you act. So, maybe you're trying to find a way to honor your emotions without letting them control you. Maybe you're trying to make decisions based on both your heart and your mind. Another possibility is that you're juggling different aspects of your life while still trying to focus on this twin flame connection. Maybe you're working a demanding job, taking care of your family, and trying to maintain your friendships, all while navigating this intense relationship. It's a lot to handle, right? And it's easy to feel overwhelmed. So, the Two of Pentacles is reminding you to take things one step at a time, to prioritize your tasks, and to ask for help when you need it. Don't try to do everything yourself, okay? It's okay to lean on others. And yet another possibility is that you're making choices about the connection itself. Maybe you're trying to decide whether to stay or go. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to communicate your needs and desires. Maybe you're trying to work through some challenges or conflicts. Whatever it is, the Two of Pentacles is reminding you to be honest with yourself and with your twin flame. Don't try to avoid the tough conversations, okay? Face them head-on and work together to find solutions. So, how do you navigate all of this? How do you find balance, stay adaptable, and make wise choices? Well, that's where the agate sphere comes in. Remember, the agate sphere is all about illumination, about seeing things clearly. So, use that energy to gain clarity about your priorities. What's most important to you? What do you value? What are your goals? Once you know what you want, it will be easier to make choices that are in alignment with your soul. And don't forget about the Queen of Swords. Use her sharp intellect to analyze your situation, to identify your challenges, and to come up with practical solutions. And use her communication skills to express your needs and desires clearly and effectively. Honesty is key, always. But also, remember the Page of Wands. Keep that spark alive. Keep that enthusiasm burning. Because even when things get tough, it's important to stay positive and to believe in yourself. You've got this, girl. So, with all of this in mind, what do you feel like is needing the most attention right now? Is it your finances? Is it your time? Is it your emotional energy? Or is it something else entirely? Okay, girl, get ready, because we just pulled the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, this is major. This card is like destiny knocking on your door, you know? It's all about cycles, turning points, and the law of attraction. Like, what you put out there comes back to you, good or bad. It's that feeling that things are finally shifting, that you're not stuck in the same old rut. The Wheel of Fortune is a reminder that life is always changing, that ups and downs are inevitable, and that what goes around comes around. It's like you might be on top of the world one day, and then suddenly the wheel turns and you're at the bottom. But the good news is it always turns again. So, even when things are tough, you know that it won't last forever. Think of it like a cosmic roller coaster. With that agate sphere energy, it's like you're finally seeing the bigger picture, understanding the cycles in your life, and recognizing that you have the power to influence your own destiny, you know? Now, with this twin flame connection in mind, the Wheel of Fortune takes on a whole new level of meaning. Because twin flame relationships are, like, intense already, right? They're full of highs and lows, challenges and breakthroughs, and the Wheel of Fortune just amplifies all of that. It's like, this connection is destined, it's part of your soul's journey. You can't escape it, even if you try. But it also means that you're going to experience some major ups and downs along the way. There will be times when everything feels perfect, like you're finally in alignment and everything is flowing. And then there will be times when it feels like everything is falling apart, like you're completely out of sync and nothing is working. It's all part of the process. The Wheel of Fortune is reminding you that this journey is not linear. It's not a straight path from point A to point B. It's more like a spiral, where you keep revisiting the same issues and patterns, but each time you're doing it at a higher level of awareness. So, don't get discouraged when you hit a rough patch. It's just an opportunity to learn and grow. This card is also about karmic cycles and past lives. It could be that you and your twin flame have been through this before in other lifetimes. And you're here to work through some unresolved issues and complete your soul's mission together. This can be really challenging, but it can also be incredibly rewarding. It's like you're finally breaking free from old patterns and creating a new future together. And with the agate sphere helping you see clearly, you can recognize those karmic patterns and make conscious choices to break free from them, you know? You don't have to repeat the same mistakes. Okay, so let's tie this into the previous cards, because this is where it gets really interesting. Remember the Page of Wands? That spark of excitement, that new beginning. Well, the Wheel of Fortune could be signaling that this spark is about to turn into something bigger. This new idea, this new person, this new opportunity, it's not just a flash in the pan. It's part of a larger plan, a destined event. The wheel is turning, and it's bringing this into your life for a reason. But it's also important to remember the Queen of Swords. Because even though this feels like destiny, you still need to be clear and discerning. Don't just blindly follow the excitement. Use your intellect, analyze the situation, and make sure that this is truly aligned with your values and your goals. The Wheel of Fortune doesn't mean that everything is going to be easy. It just means that you're on the right path. You still need to put in the work, make smart choices, and stay true to yourself. And what about the lovers? That card of choices, of partnerships, of twin flame connections. Well, the Wheel of Fortune could be highlighting a major decision that you need to make about this relationship. Are you going to commit to this connection, even though it's going to be challenging? Are you going to work through the ups and downs and create a lasting partnership? Or are you going to walk away, knowing that it's not the right time or that you're not the right fit? The Wheel of Fortune is reminding you that this decision is not just about you. It's about your soul's journey, about your karma, about your destiny. So, choose wisely. Choose with your heart, choose with your soul, and choose with the clarity of the agate sphere guiding you. And remember the Two of Pentacles. This is where it all comes together, because the Wheel of Fortune is going to throw things off balance. It's going to disrupt your routine, challenge your priorities, and force you to adapt. You might feel like you're juggling even more plates than before, and it's going to be hard to keep everything in the air. But the Two of Pentacles is reminding you that you can handle it. You're strong, you're adaptable, and you have the resources you need to navigate this change. You just need to stay grounded, prioritize your tasks, and ask for help when you need it. Don't try to control everything. Sometimes you just have to let go and trust that the wheel will turn in your favor. It's like the Wheel of Fortune is the unexpected plot twist in your story, and the Two of Pentacles is how you manage the fallout, right? So, how do you navigate this Wheel of Fortune energy with your twin flame? Well, first of all, you need to accept that things are going to change. Don't resist the change, embrace it. See it as an opportunity for growth and transformation. And don't get too attached to the good times because they won't last forever. And don't get too discouraged by the bad times because they won't last forever either. Just ride the wave and trust that everything is happening for a reason. Secondly, you need to focus on your own personal growth. The Wheel of Fortune is often a catalyst for change, and it can bring up a lot of unresolved issues and emotions. So, use this time to work on yourself, to heal your wounds, and to become the best version of yourself. This will not only benefit you, but it will also benefit your relationship with your twin flame. Because the more you heal yourself, the more you can show up for them in a healthy and supportive way. Thirdly, you need to communicate openly and honestly with your twin flame. The Wheel of Fortune can bring up a lot of confusion and uncertainty, so it's important to talk about your feelings and your fears. Don't try to hide anything, be vulnerable, and create a safe space where you can both share your truths. This will help you to navigate the challenges together and to strengthen your connection. With the agate sphere shining a light on everything, you'll be able to see through any illusions or misunderstandings and communicate with clarity and compassion. Okay, so what does all of this mean for you right now? Well, it means that you're at a major turning point in your life, especially in regards to this twin flame connection. Things are about to shift, and you need to be ready for it. Embrace the change, focus on your growth, and communicate with your twin flame. Trust that everything is happening for a reason and that you have the power to create your own destiny. Don't be afraid to take risks, to step outside of your comfort zone, and to follow your heart. The Wheel of Fortune is on your side, and it's guiding you towards your highest potential. It's like the universe is giving you a nudge, saying, okay, it's time to level up. And with the agate sphere illuminating the way, you can see clearly what steps you need to take. Just remember to stay grounded, stay balanced, and stay true to yourself. You got this. So with all that said, what's the next piece of the puzzle? Let's pull another card and see what else the universe has in store for you, my friend. Okay, so are you ready for this? Because oh my gosh, we just pulled the Empress. Like seriously? After all of that, we get the Empress? Girl, this is huge. This is like the ultimate feminine energy card. This is like pure creation, pure abundance, pure like fertile, juicy energy. Oh my God, I'm so excited. You know, the Empress, she's all about like nurturing, about growth, about beauty, about just like the divine feminine in all of its glory. It's like you're not just making choices and balancing things, you're actually creating something real, something tangible, something beautiful in your life. And like, with that agate sphere energy still hanging around, it's like you're seeing this creative potential so clearly now. You're not just hopping for abundance, you're actually seeing how to create it. You're recognizing your own power to manifest your desires. Oh my gosh, this is just so good. You know, but like, let's break this down a little bit, right? Because the Empress, she's not just about rainbows and unicorns. She's also about like hard work, about dedication, about like really tending to your garden, you know? You can't just sit around and wait for things to grow. You have to actually like get your hands dirty and nurture your creations. But like in a really fulfilling way, right? You're not just grinding away, you're actually loving what you're doing. So like think about what you're creating in your life right now. Is it a business? Is it a relationship? Is it a work of art? Is it like just your own sense of well-being? Whatever it is, the Empress is saying that you have the power to make it flourish. You just have to give it the love and attention it deserves. You know, and like with this twin flame connection in mind, this is getting even more interesting. Because the Empress, she's also about partnership, about creating something together. So like, what are you and your twin flame creating together? Is it a family? Is it a project? Is it like just a deeper connection? Whatever it is, the Empress is saying that you have the potential to create something really special, something that's even bigger than yourselves. It's like you're co-creating a new reality. But like, here's the thing, right? You can't create something amazing if you're not feeling good yourself. The Empress is also about self-care, about nurturing yourself. You have to take care of your own needs, both physical and emotional, before you can start taking care of others. So like, are you eating healthy? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you spending time doing things that you love? If not, then you need to make some changes, girl. The Empress is like, you cannot pour from an empty cup, you know. So like, let's connect this back to the other cards, right? Because this is where it gets really juicy. Remember the Page of Wands? That spark of excitement, that new idea? Well, the Empress is saying that this idea has the potential to grow into something amazing. It's like that little seed is ready to sprout and blossom. You just have to give it the right conditions. And like, what about the Queen of Swords? That truth teller, that voice of reason? Well, the Empress is saying that you need to use your intellect to nurture your creations. You can't just rely on your emotions. You have to be smart, strategic, and practical. It's like you're using your mind to guide your heart. And oh my gosh, the Lovers. That card of choices, of partnerships, of twin flame connections. Well, the Empress is saying that your choices are leading you towards abundance and fulfillment. You're creating a relationship that's based on love, respect, and mutual support. It's like you're finally aligning with your soulmate. And the Two of Pentacles? Girl, this is so important. Because the Empress is about creating abundance in all areas of your life, not just in your relationships. So, you need to balance your time, your energy, and your resources. You can't just focus on one thing and neglect everything else. It's like you're juggling all those plates, but now you're doing it with grace and ease. Okay, but now think about the Wheel of Fortune. Because the Empress is not just about creating something static, something that stays the same forever. She's about embracing the cycles of life, about flowing with the changes. So, even when things get tough, even when the wheel turns against you, you can still create abundance. You just have to adapt, be flexible, and trust that everything is happening for a reason. The Empress knows that even after winter, spring always returns. It's like destiny is playing a role in this, right? The Wheel of Fortune is bringing you opportunities, and the Empress is helping you to capitalize on them. You're not just passively waiting for things to happen. You're actively creating your own reality. So, how does this all play out with your twin flame? Well, the Empress is saying that you and your twin flame have the potential to create something amazing together. It could be a family, a business, a creative project, or just a deeper spiritual connection. Whatever it is, it's going to be something that's aligned with your soul's purpose. But it's not going to be easy, right? Twin flame relationships are always challenging. There's going to be ups and downs, conflicts and resolutions. But the Empress is saying that you can overcome these challenges by nurturing your connection, by communicating openly and honestly, and by supporting each other's growth. It's like you're both planting seeds in the same garden and you're both helping each other to grow. And that's such a beautiful thing. But here's the thing, right? The Empress is not just about romantic love. She's also about self-love. So you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you're nurturing your own needs before you can start taking care of your twin flame. It's like you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to fill yourself up first so that you have something to give. And that's not selfish, that's actually really important. Because the more you love yourself, the more you're able to love others. So, what does all of this mean for you right now? Well, it means that you're in a really powerful place. You're surrounded by abundance, you're connected to your twin flame, and you have the potential to create something amazing. You just have to believe in yourself, trust in the universe, and take action. But what kind of action should you be taking? That's the big question, right? Because the Empress, she's not just about ideas, she's about practical steps. So, what are the specific things that you can do to nurture your creations? What are the specific things that you can do to take care of yourself? What are the specific things that you can do to strengthen your connection with your twin flame? Those are the questions that you need to be asking yourself right now. And with that agate sphere energy guiding you, I know you'll find the answers. You just have to be open to receiving them. And don't be afraid to experiment, to try new things, to see what works. Because the Empress is all about exploration, about discovery, about finding your own unique path. It's like you're an artist and you're creating your own masterpiece. You get to choose the colors, the shapes, the textures. You get to create something that's totally unique and authentic. And that's so exciting. But here's the thing, right? The Empress is also about patience. You can't rush the process. You have to let things unfold naturally. It's like you're planting a seed and you have to wait for it to sprout. You can't just dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You have to trust that it's doing its thing, and you have to give it the time and space it needs to flourish. And that can be really hard, especially when you're impatient like me. But the Empress is reminding you to slow down, to breathe, and to trust the timing of the universe. Everything is happening in divine timing, So, with all of this in mind, what's the next step? What's the next piece of the puzzle? What's the next card that we need to pull to help you create this abundant and fulfilling life? I'm so excited to see what comes next. This is so good. Okay, so, oh my gosh, are you ready? Because we just pulled the Two of Cups. I'm squealing inside. I mean, after all of that, the Two of Cups is the perfect cherry on top, This card is all about union, about partnership, about that deep soul-level connection that we've been talking about this entire time. It's affirmation central, So the Two of Cups, it's not just any old friendship, it's not just any old relationship. This is a bond that's forged in the fires of shared values, mutual respect, and this unspoken understanding that you're both on the same page, It's that feeling of I see you, I get you, and I'm here for you. And with that agate sphere energy, it's you're seeing this connection with crystal clarity. You're not just hopping it's there, you're actually seeing it, feeling it, and knowing it in your heart. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps. Seriously. And this isn't just about romantic relationships either, although it totally can be. This could also be a really powerful friendship, a business partnership, or even like a connection with a family member that just feels like divinely guided, you know? But since we're talking twin flames here, let's be real, this is probably about that connection. You know, but like, let's dive a little deeper, right? Because the Two of Cups, it's not just about feeling good. It's also about, like, the work that goes into building a strong relationship. It's about communication, about compromise, about being willing to meet the other person halfway. It's about, you know, like, not always getting your way. It's about, like, understanding that you're both individuals with your own needs and desires, and finding a way to honor those needs while still creating a shared vision, you know? And that can be hard, especially with a twin flame, because twin flame relationships, they're so intense, right? They can bring up all of your insecurities, all of your fears, all of your, like, hidden shadows, you know? But that's also what makes them so transformative. Because when you're forced to confront those things in yourself, you have the opportunity to heal them, to grow, and to become a better version of yourself. And the Two of Cups is saying that you're both willing to do that work. You're both willing to show up, to be vulnerable, and to support each other through the tough times. Ooh, I love this so much. Like, you're building something real, something lasting, something that's going to stand the test of time. Okay, so, like, let's connect this back to the other cards, right? Because this is where it all starts to make sense. Remember the Page of Wands. That spark of excitement, that new beginning? Well, the Two of Cups is saying that that spark has the potential to ignite a really deep and meaningful connection. It's like that little flame is growing into a roaring fire. And what about the Queen of Swords? That truth teller, that voice of reason. Well, the Two of Cups is saying that you need to use your intellect to communicate honestly and openly with your partner. You can't just rely on your emotions. You have to be clear, direct, and willing to have those tough conversations, you know? It's like you're using your mind to guide your heart, but you're also honoring your emotions and being vulnerable. It's like a perfect balance. Oh, and the Lovers. That card of choices, of partnerships, of twin flame connections. Well, the Two of Cups is like a confirmation. It's saying that you've made the right choice, that you're on the right path, and that you're building a relationship that's aligned with your soul's purpose, you know? It's like the universe is giving you a big thumbs up. And the Two of Pentacles. Girl, this is so important, because the Two of Cups is not just about feeling love, it's also about balancing your relationship with the other areas of your life. You can't just focus on your partner and neglect your career, your family, your friends, or your own self-care. You have to find a way to juggle it all to create a sense of harmony and equilibrium, you know. It's like you're keeping all those plates spinning, but you're doing it with love and grace. And then, the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh, this is so good, because the Two of Cups is saying that even when the wheel turns, even when things get tough, your connection will endure. You're both strong enough to weather the storms, to navigate the challenges, and to come out on the other side even stronger. It's like you're riding the waves together and you're trusting that the universe has your back, you know? And finally, the Empress, the ultimate feminine energy, the creator of abundance. This card is saying that your union has the potential to create something truly amazing in the world. It could be a family, a business, a creative project, or just a ripple effect of love and healing that touches everyone around you, you know? It's like you're both radiating this incredible energy, and it's inspiring others to connect, to love, and to create. Ooh, I'm getting chills again. So like, with this twin flame connection, this card is like, screaming, you are meant to be together. But like, not in a clingy, codependent way, you know? It's more like, you are both here to support each other's growth, to challenge each other's perspectives, and to help each other become the best versions of yourselves. It's like you're both mirrors, reflecting back to each other your strengths, your weaknesses, and your potential. And like, that can be really intense, right? Because nobody wants to see their flaws reflected back at them. But that's also what makes it so powerful. Because when you're willing to look at those flaws, you have the opportunity to heal them, to grow beyond them, and to become even more authentic and whole. But here's the thing, the Two of Cups is not a guarantee that everything is going to be perfect all the time. Relationships take work, especially twin flame relationships. there are going to be disagreements, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt. But the Two of Cups is saying that you have the tools to navigate those challenges. You have the communication skills, the compassion, and the commitment to work through anything that comes your way. You just have to be willing to show up, to be vulnerable, and to keep choosing each other every single day, you know. And with that agate sphere, you are able to do this with clarity and focus. You know what you want and you can have it. So, what does all of this mean for you right now? Well, it means that you're in a really beautiful place. You're surrounded by love, you're connected to your twin flame, and you have the potential to create something truly amazing in the world. But it also means that you have some work to do. You need to communicate openly and honestly with your partner. You need to balance your relationship with the other areas of your life, and you need to keep choosing each other every single day. But it's all worth it, right? Because the rewards of a strong, healthy, and fulfilling relationship are immeasurable. And the Two of Cups is saying that you're on your way to creating just that. So, with all of this amazing energy swirling around, what's the next step? What's the next thing you need to focus on to really solidify this connection and create the life you've been dreaming of? I'm so excited to see what the next card reveals. Ooh, oh. Okay, so, oh my gosh, the Five of Swords, right? I know, it's not the most, sunshine and rainbows card to end on, but honestly, I think it's actually perfect. Because life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, is it? There are going to be challenges, there are going to be conflicts, and there are going to be times when you feel like you're fighting an uphill battle. And the Five of Swords is a reminder that those times are inevitable, but they don't have to define you, you know? This card is all about conflict, about feeling like you have to win at all costs, about letting your ego get in the way. It's about that feeling of needing to be right, even if it means hurting someone else in the process. And let's be real, we've all been there, right? We've all had those moments where we just couldn't let something go, where we had to prove our point, even if it meant sacrificing a relationship or our own peace of mind. And with the agate sphere, it's calling you to cut through the illusion of conflict to seeing where everyone's coming from, right? It's a two-way street. But here's the thing, the Five of Swords is also a card about learning. It's about recognizing when you're in a conflict situation, about understanding why you feel the need to win, and about choosing a different path, a path of compassion, of understanding, and of resolution. It's about realizing that true victory isn't about defeating someone else, it's about finding a way to create a win-win situation for everyone involved. And that's where all the other cards come in. So, remember that Page of Wands? That spark of excitement, that new beginning? Well, the Five of Swords could be a sign that you need to be careful about how you're pursuing your goals. Are you so focused on getting what you want that you're stepping on other people's toes? Are you so caught up in the excitement that you're not considering the consequences of your actions? The Page of Wands is all about enthusiasm, but it's also about being mindful and respectful, you know? Don't let your ambition turn into aggression. And then, the Queen of Swords. Oh my gosh, she's so important here. Because the Queen of Swords is all about truth, about clarity, about cutting through the BS. And the Five of Swords is often about deception, about manipulation, about trying to get ahead by any means necessary. So, the Queen of Swords is urging you to be honest with yourself and with others. Don't try to hide your intentions, don't try to twist the truth, and don't try to control the situation. Just be clear, be direct, and be authentic. And if you're in a conflict with someone else, use your communication skills to express your needs and desires in a respectful and constructive way. Don't attack, don't blame, and don't try to win the argument. Just listen, understand, and try to find a solution that works for everyone. Because remember, true strength isn't about dominating others, it's about standing in your own power with integrity and grace. Use that agate sphere, girl. Illuminate the situation. Okay, so, what about the Lovers? That card of choices, of partnerships, of twin flame connections. Well, the Five of Swords could be a sign that you're facing a difficult decision in your relationship. Are you willing to compromise? Are you willing to let go of your ego? Are you willing to prioritize the needs of your partner over your own desires? The Lovers is all about making choices that are aligned with your soul's purpose, and sometimes that means sacrificing your own ego for the sake of the relationship. And then, the Two of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, this is so relevant because the Two of Pentacles is all about balance, about juggling different priorities, about staying adaptable when things get crazy. And the Five of Swords is definitely a card that can throw things off balance. It can create chaos, it can disrupt your routine, and it can make it hard to focus on what's really important. So, the Two of Pentacles is reminding you to stay grounded, to prioritize your tasks, and to ask for help when you need it. Don't try to do everything yourself, and don't let the conflict consume you. Just take things one step at a time, and remember that you have the strength and the resilience to navigate this challenge. You've handled so much. What's one more little sword fight, right? And what about the Wheel of Fortune? That card of destiny, of cycles, of unexpected change. Well, the Five of Swords could be a sign that you're in a karmic cycle, that you're repeating a pattern of conflict and aggression. But the Wheel of Fortune is also a reminder that you have the power to break free from those cycles. You can choose to learn from your mistakes, to heal your wounds, and to create a new future for yourself. You don't have to be a victim of your past. You can be the creator of your own destiny. You can use the Five of Swords as an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to become a more compassionate and understanding person. And then, the Empress. Oh my gosh, she's so powerful here because the Empress is all about nurturing, about creating, about abundance. And the Five of Swords is all about destruction, about scarcity, about feeling like there's not enough to go around. So, the Empress is urging you to focus on what you want to create, not on what you want to destroy. Focus on love, not on fear. Focus on abundance, not on scarcity. And use your creative energy to find solutions to the conflict that are aligned with your values and your goals. Remember, you have the power to manifest your desires, and you can use that power to create a more peaceful and harmonious world. Lean into her strength and into your ability to create something beautiful out of the ashes of conflict. And finally, like the Two of Cups. This card is all about union, partnership, and deep connection. And after the Five of Swords. Like you might be feeling disconnected, misunderstood, or even betrayed. But the Two of Cups is a reminder that you have the power to heal those wounds and to rebuild your connection. You can choose to forgive, to understand, and to create a space for open and honest communication. You can choose to focus on your shared values, your mutual respect, and your unwavering commitment to each other. And remember that twin flame connections are always challenging. They're designed to push you to grow, to evolve, and to become the best versions of yourselves. So, don't be afraid of the conflict. Embrace it as an opportunity to deepen your connection and to create a relationship that's even stronger and more resilient than before. And lean into that agate sphere for clarity, so you can really see what's going on and really reflect and project all the awesome energy you've got. So, what does all of this mean for you right now? Well, it means that you're facing a challenge, but you're also surrounded by support, by guidance, and by an incredible amount of inner strength. You have the power to navigate this conflict with grace, with integrity, and with compassion. You can choose to let go of your ego, to communicate openly and honestly, and to focus on creating a win-win situation for everyone involved. You can choose to break free from old patterns of conflict and to create a new future for yourself, a future that's filled with love, with abundance, and with unwavering connection. Don't let the Five of Swords scare you. See it as an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to become the best version of yourself. You've got this, girl. You are strong, you are resilient, and you are surrounded by love. Just remember to stay true to yourself, to communicate openly and honestly, and to never, ever give up on your dreams. And always, always trust your intuition and let your heart guide the way. The agate sphere is there to illuminate your path so you can see clearly what steps you need to take. You are so powerful, and you are so loved. Now go out there and create the life you've been dreaming of. I believe in you. Okay, so you pick the Amethyst Tower, which is all about balancing energies, and our theme for this reading is bridging realities, harmonizing the spiritual and physical, which I think is super cool. So let's see how these cards play into all of that, shall we? All right, so the first card we have is the Knight of Wands, and oh my gosh, this card is like BAM energy. It's like a call to action, right? He's all about passion, adventure, and just going for it, you know? Like full speed ahead, he doesn't really think things through. He just acts on impulse. So, the Knight of Wands could be showing up in your life right now as this sudden opportunity, this urge to just leap into something new and exciting. Are you feeling that little spark of adventure, that feeling of I just gotta do this? Because this card is screaming that energy to me. But here's the thing about the Knight of Wands, he can be a little bit reckless, right? He's so focused on the adventure that he might not see the obstacles in his path, or, the consequences of his actions. He might, jump into a situation without really thinking it through, and then, whoops, things get a little messy. So it's super important to, recognize that fiery energy within yourself, that desire to just go, 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 but also to, take a deep breath and, consider the bigger picture. Is this something that's truly aligned with your goals, with your values? Or is it just a fleeting impulse that could lead you down a path you don't really want to be on? And sometimes, that impulsiveness can be a self-sabotage thing, right? You get so excited about something new that you abandon what you're already working on, and then you're just chasing shiny objects all the time, never really accomplishing anything. So be mindful of that tendency, okay? Check in with yourself and ask, am I running towards something, or am I running away from something? Because sometimes that Knight of Wands energy is just a way of avoiding something that we don't want to face, But don't get me wrong, the Knight of Wands isn't all bad, not at all. He can be super inspiring, right? He can ignite that fire within you, that passion that you need to, pursue your dreams and, take risks and step outside of your comfort zone. He's all about taking action and not being afraid to fail. He's just saying, do it. So, if you've been feeling stuck or stagnant, the Knight of Wands could be showing up to, shake things up and get you moving again. Maybe it's time to just, say yes to that opportunity that you've been hesitant about, or to finally start that project that you've been putting off. It's time to embrace that adventurous spirit and just go for it, But again, with a little bit of caution, okay? Don't just, blindly charge ahead without thinking. Take a moment to assess the situation, to weigh the pros and cons, and to make sure that you're making a decision that's truly in your best interest. And maybe, get a second opinion from someone you trust, someone who can offer a different perspective and help you see things more clearly. Because sometimes when we're caught up in that Knight of Wands energy, we can get a little tunnel-visioned, right? We can only see what we want to see, and we can miss important details that could save us from making a mistake. So yeah, definitely, channel that inner Knight of Wands, but a responsible Knight of Wands, okay? Now, okay, so we have the Hierophant. Whoa, this is a major contrast to the Knight of Wands, right? The Knight of Wands is all about breaking the rules and forging your own path, and the Hierophant is all about tradition, structure, and, established systems. The Hierophant is the wise teacher, the mentor, the one who upholds the established order. He represents institutions like religion, education, and government, and he's all about following the rules and doing things the right way, according to tradition. So, seeing these two cards together is, super interesting, right? It's how do you reconcile that fiery, rebellious energy of the Knight of Wands with the structured, traditional energy of the Hierophant? Well, one way to look at it is that the Hierophant is here to, ground the Knight of Wands a little bit, right? To help him channel his energy in a more productive way. The Knight of Wands might have all the passion and enthusiasm in the world, but he might lack the knowledge and experience to really make things happen. That is where the Hierophant comes in. The Hierophant can provide that guidance, that structure, that framework that the Knight of Wands needs to succeed. So, maybe this is a time to seek out a mentor or a teacher, someone who can help you learn the ropes and navigate the established systems. Maybe you need to go back to school or take a course to gain the skills and knowledge you need to achieve your goals. Or maybe it just means doing your research and understanding the rules before you start breaking them, But also, the Hierophant can represent your own internal beliefs and values, right? like the things that you've been taught to believe are true, the traditions that you've grown up with. And sometimes, those beliefs and traditions can hold us back, right? They can prevent us from seeing new possibilities and from living our lives to the fullest. So, it's important to, question those beliefs and traditions and to ask yourself if they're still serving you. Are you living your life according to your own values, or are you just following the rules because that's what you've always been told to do? Are you afraid to break free from tradition and forge your own path? Because sometimes, the most rebellious thing you can do is to challenge the status quo and to create your own definition of success, the Hierophant can be a powerful force for good, but he can also be a source of oppression if he's not questioned and challenged. So, it's important to find that balance between respecting tradition and forging your own path, between following the rules and breaking them when necessary. And that's where the balancing from the Amethyst Tower comes in. That is, exactly what the Amethyst Tower's energy is trying to bring to the surface for you. And maybe, the Hierophant is showing up to remind you of the importance of ethics and integrity, right? The Knight of Wands can sometimes get so caught up in his own ambition that he forgets to consider the impact of his actions on others. The Hierophant is here to remind you to act with compassion and integrity and to always do what's right, even when it's difficult. So, yeah, definitely embrace the wisdom and guidance of the Hierophant, but also, don't be afraid to question him and to challenge him when necessary. Okay, and then we have the Queen of Cups, and she's oh my gosh, such a gentle, loving energy, right? She's all about intuition, emotions, and deep connection. She's the embodiment of compassion and empathy, and she's always there to offer a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on. So, seeing the Queen of Cups alongside the Knight of Wands and the Hierophant is so beautiful because she's bringing that element of emotional intelligence into the mix. She's reminding you to not just act on impulse or follow the rules blindly, but to also listen to your heart and to trust your intuition. She's bringing the realities together. The Queen of Cups is saying, hey, it's okay to be sensitive, it's okay to feel your emotions, and it's okay to prioritize your relationships. She's reminding you that true success isn't just about achieving your goals. It's also about building meaningful connections with others and creating a life filled with love and joy. So, maybe this is a time to focus on nurturing your relationships, to spend time with the people you care about, and to express your love and appreciation for them. Maybe it's a time to forgive yourself and others for past mistakes, and to move forward with compassion and understanding. And the Queen of Cups is also super intuitive, right? She has a deep connection to her inner wisdom, and she's always able to sense what's really going on beneath the surface. So, she's encouraging you to trust your gut instincts and to pay attention to your dreams and synchronicities. What are your emotions telling you? What are you feeling drawn to? What are you sensing about the people and situations around you? Because your intuition is always guiding you, even if you're not always aware of it. And maybe the Queen of Cups is showing up to remind you of the importance of self-care, right? The Knight of Wands can get so caught up in his adventures that he forgets to take care of himself, and the Hierophant can get so caught up in following the rules that he neglects his own needs. The Queen of Cups is here to remind you to prioritize your well-being and to make time for things that bring you joy and relaxation. So, yeah, it's take a bath, read a book, listen to music, spend time in nature, whatever makes you feel good, So overall, these three cards together are telling a really interesting story, right? It's about finding that balance between passion, structure, and intuition. It's about embracing your adventurous spirit while also respecting tradition and listening to your heart. It's about bridging the gap between your spiritual and physical realities, between your desires and your responsibilities. It's about creating a life that's both exciting and fulfilling, both meaningful and joyful. I think this is going to be a really powerful journey for you. Okay, wow. So, and for this card, we have the High Priestess, which I think is really, really beautiful. I definitely think you're being called to, reconnect with your intuition in a really, really powerful way. I think you are going to be experiencing, a lot more clarity, and also, I think you're going to be getting a lot more in touch with your subconscious mind. especially if you are someone who tends to, overthink things or, rely too much on logic. You might find that you are just, naturally gravitating towards more intuitive ways of understanding the world. You may have been worried, if you've been dealing with, confusion or just a lack of clarity in general. I think that you are gaining a lot of insight. Not only that, but I think you're looking at situations through a new lens that's more trusting of your inner voice, a lens that's more encouraging of you to listen to your gut, and looking at the world not as, what does everyone else think I should do? But rather, what do I feel is the right path for me? I also think that, you're going to find that yawavan if you've been doing something, say, for example, maybe you've been in a relationship for years, you may be looking at things with a more open mind. Or you may be approaching your relationship in a newer way that is more intuitive and rejuvenating. So, maybe you have defined your relationship as, only based on logic and practicality in the past, and now you're saying, maybe tapping into our emotions and our intuition is something that could also bring us closer. So now, you are incorporating new ways of connecting with your partner that is not only allowing what you're already doing to be more fresh, but also, I think you may be rekindling your love for each other through deeper, more meaningful connections. I also think that you are going to find that you just feel more connected to your inner self in general. You feel more excited to explore the depths of your own being, to listen to your intuition, and I think that that connection is going to be a bit contagious. I think other people are also going to notice that shift in you, and they're going to be inspired by your authenticity as well. If one of your dreams is to be able to inspire others with your genuine self, that is exactly what's coming in for you. That is a big thing where you may find that you have the courage to share your insights, and they really resonate with people in powerful ways. I think one thing you need to know is that you have a very unique intuition. Your inner wisdom is so powerful. As you're shifting into this energy, and as it's coming to you, one thing that you may struggle with is just that doubt that comes with trusting your intuition of, oh, but what if I'm wrong? Or, oh, maybe this isn't logical. Or, oh, maybe I should just ignore this feeling. Instead, you're going to be no, you know what, it's okay to trust my gut. No, you know what, not everything has to make sense. No, you know what, this doesn't have to be validated by anyone else. I'm trusting myself, and whatever comes of it, comes of it. It's about having faith in your own inner knowing. Now, thinking about how this card connects to the others, it's really interesting. With the Knight of Wands' fiery energy, the High Priestess is saying, okay, hold on a second before you rush into things, let's tap into your intuition. Let's see what your inner voice is telling you. The Knight wants to charge ahead, but the High Priestess is whispering, is this really the right direction? And with the Hierophant, who represents tradition and structure, the High Priestess is okay, it's important to respect tradition, but are you blindly following rules without questioning them? Are you listening to your own inner guidance, or are you just doing what you've been told? She's challenging the status quo, encouraging you to think for yourself, to trust your own inner wisdom, even if it goes against what you've been taught. It is so much about, questioning everything right now. And then we have the Queen of Cups, who is all about emotions and intuition, so the High Priestess is amplifying that energy. She's saying, yes, trust your feelings, trust your intuition, because that's where your true power lies. She is like the ultimate guide to the subconscious. You know what I mean? But it's also important to remember that the High Priestess isn't always about rainbows and sunshine. Sometimes she reveals uncomfortable truths. She might show you things about yourself or about others that you don't want to see. She might force you to confront your shadow self, your fears, your insecurities. But that's all part of the process, right? Because once you acknowledge those things, you can start to heal them and to grow. So, the High Priestess is urging you to dive deep, to explore the hidden depths of your own psyche, to uncover the secrets that are waiting to be revealed. And this all fits so perfectly with our theme of bridging realities, harmonizing the spiritual and physical. The High Priestess is the bridge between those two worlds. She's the one who can help you connect with your spiritual side while still staying grounded in the physical world. She embodies that amethyst tower energy, that balance, that harmony. She understands that true power comes from within, from connecting with your inner wisdom and trusting your intuition. Okay, so, what does this mean for your twin flame journey? Well, the High Priestess could be showing up to tell you that there are hidden truths that you need to uncover about yourself, about your twin flame, or about your connection. Maybe there are things that you're not seeing clearly, or maybe there are secrets that are being kept from you. The High Priestess is urging you to trust your intuition, to pay attention to your dreams and synchronicities, because they might be giving you clues about what's really going on. Maybe you've been ignoring your gut feelings about something, or maybe you've been trying to rationalize something that just doesn't feel right. The High Priestess is saying, listen to your inner voice because it knows the truth. But it's also important to be honest with yourself, right? Are you willing to see the truth, even if it's painful? Are you willing to let go of your illusions and face reality? Because the High Priestess is all about truth, even when it's uncomfortable. This is a really big moment for clarity, I think. And in terms of your relationship with your twin flame, the High Priestess could be indicating that there's a need for deeper communication and understanding. Maybe you haven't been truly listening to each other, or maybe you've been avoiding certain topics because they're too sensitive. The High Priestess is encouraging you to create a safe space where you can both be honest and vulnerable with each other, where you can share your deepest fears and desires without judgment. It's also important to remember that your twin flame is a mirror, reflecting back to you your own strengths and weaknesses. So, if you're seeing something in your twin flame that you don't like, it might be a reflection of something within yourself that you need to work on. The High Priestess is urging you to use this connection as an opportunity for self-growth and self-discovery. This is all about a very deep, true kind of love, you know? It's about accepting each other for who you truly are, flaws and all. Now, practically speaking, what can you do with this High Priestess energy? Well, one thing you can do is to start paying more attention to your dreams. Keep a dream journal and write down everything you remember as soon as you wake up. Look for recurring symbols or themes and try to interpret what they might mean. Your dreams are a direct line to your subconscious, and they can offer valuable insights into your inner world. Another thing you can do is to meditate regularly. Even just a few minutes of meditation each day can help you quiet your mind and connect with your intuition. Focus on your breath and let your thoughts come and go without judgment. You might also try visualizing yourself connecting with your higher self, your inner guide, or your intuition. Ask for guidance and be open to receiving answers. And, of course, spend time in nature. Nature is a powerful source of healing and inspiration, and it can help you connect with your intuition and your spiritual side. Take a walk in the woods, sit by the ocean, or simply spend some time in your garden. Pay attention to the sights, sounds, and smells around you, and let yourself be present in the moment. So, to wrap up, the High Priestess is all about trusting your intuition, uncovering hidden truths, and connecting with your inner wisdom. She's urging you to dive deep, to explore the depths of your own psyche, and to embrace your true power. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. The Amethyst Tower is there to help you balance your energies, and your intuition is always guiding you. Trust yourself, trust the process, and trust that you're exactly where you need to be. I am seriously so excited about what card is coming next. Okay. So for this card, we have the Hermit, which, oh my gosh, is a really, really interesting card, especially considering everything else that's come up. I definitely think you're being called to, go within in a really, really powerful way. I think you are going to be experiencing, a period of solitude. And also, I think you're going to be getting a lot more clarity through that solitude, especially if you are someone who tends to, be around people all the time or, avoid being alone with your thoughts. You might find that you are just, naturally craving more time by yourself. You may have been worried, if you've been dealing with, feeling lost or just a lack of direction in general. I think that you are gaining a lot of insight through this time of introspection. Not only that, but I think you're looking at life through a new lens that's more focused on your own inner wisdom, a lens that's more encouraging of you to listen to your own inner voice, and looking at the world not as, what does everyone else want me to do? But rather, what do I truly want for myself, and how can I achieve that by, turning inward? I also think that, you're going to find that yaoven if you've been doing something, say, for example, maybe you've been in a relationship for years, you may be looking at things from a more individualistic perspective, or you may be approaching your relationship in a newer way that is more focused on your own personal growth. So, maybe you have defined your relationship as, you're everything in the past, and now you're saying, maybe focusing on myself and my own needs is something that could actually make the relationship even stronger. So now, you are incorporating new ways of being an individual that is not only allowing what you're already doing to be more balanced, but also I think you may be rekindling your love for yourself through deeper, more meaningful self-discovery. I also think that you are going to find that you just feel more connected to your purpose in general. You feel more excited to explore your own inner world, to listen to your intuition, and I think that focus is going to be a bit contagious. I think other people are also going to notice that shift in you, and they're going to be inspired by your self-awareness as well. If one of your dreams is to be able to inspire others with your authentic self, that is exactly what's coming in for you. That is a big thing where you may find that you have the courage to share these things that you are learning about yourself, and they really resonate with people in powerful ways. I think one thing you need to know is that you have a very unique path, and the only way to truly walk it is to connect with your inner self. As you are shifting into this energy, and as it's coming to you, one thing that you may struggle with is just that doubt that comes with being alone, but what if I'm lonely? Or, maybe this isn't productive. Or, maybe I should just be around people. Instead, you're going to be no, you know what, it's okay to be alone. No, you know what, not everything has to be about being social. No, you know what, this is about me and my journey. Now, thinking about how this card connects to the others, it's really interesting. With the Knight of Wands fiery energy, the Hermit is saying, okay, hold on a second before you rush into things, let's take some time to reflect. Let's see if this is truly the right path for you. The Knight wants to charge ahead, but the Hermit is whispering, is this journey worth it, and are you doing it for the right reasons? And with the Hierophant, who represents tradition and structure, the Hermit is okay, it's important to respect tradition, but are you living your life according to your own values, or are you just following the crowd? Are you even truly happy? He's challenging the status quo, encouraging you to think for yourself, to trust your own inner wisdom, even if it goes against what society tells you. It is so much about, questioning everything right now, even questioning your role within society and your place in traditions. And then we have the Queen of Cups, who is all about emotions and intuition, so the Hermit is deepening that connection. He's saying, yes, trust your feelings, trust your intuition, but also take some time to process them in solitude. Don't just react to your emotions, but understand them. He's encouraging you to go deeper into your own emotional landscape and to explore the root causes of your feelings. You know what I mean? He's like the ultimate guide to self-understanding and reflection. Then, with the High Priestess, who is all about trusting your intuition and connecting with your inner wisdom, the Hermit is amplifying that energy. He's saying, yes, trust your intuition, but also take the time to discern what is truly your intuition and what is just your own thoughts and fears. He's urging you to create space for your intuition to speak to you clearly without the interference of outside noise. The Hermit is go within, be silent, and listen to the still, small voice within. But it's also important to remember that the Hermit isn't always about, being alone forever. Sometimes he represents a temporary period of solitude that is necessary for growth and self-discovery. He might be showing you things about yourself or about others that you don't want to see. He might force you to confront your shadow self, your fears, your insecurities. But that's all part of the process, right? Because once you acknowledge those things, you can start to heal them and to grow. So, the Hermit is urging you to dive deep, to explore the hidden depths of your own psyche, to uncover the secrets that are waiting to be revealed, but he's also saying that this is a temporary phase. And this all fits so perfectly with our theme of bridging realities, harmonizing the spiritual and physical. The hermit is the one who helps you connect with your spiritual side through solitude and introspection, which then allows you to bring that wisdom back into the physical world. He embodies that amethyst tower energy, that balance, that harmony. He understands that true power comes from within, from connecting with your inner wisdom and using that wisdom to navigate the external world. Okay, so, what does this mean for your twin flame journey? Well, the hermit could be showing up to tell you that there's a need for some time apart, whether physical or emotional, from your twin flame. Maybe you need to focus on your own healing and growth before you can come together in a healthy way. Maybe there are lessons that you need to learn on your own before you can truly be ready for a relationship. The hermit is urging you to use this time to connect with your inner self, to understand your own needs and desires, and to heal any wounds that might be preventing you from fully embracing your connection with your twin flame. Maybe you've been so focused on the other person that you've lost sight of yourself. The hermit is saying, remember who you are, remember what you want, and remember that you are a whole and complete person on your own. This is a really big moment for self-discovery, I think. And in terms of your relationship with your twin flame, the hermit could be indicating that there's a need for clearer boundaries. Maybe you've been giving too much of yourself, or maybe you've been allowing your twin flame to take advantage of you. The hermit is encouraging you to set healthy boundaries and to prioritize your own needs. It's also important to remember that your twin flame journey is about self-love, not just about romantic love. So, if you're not loving yourself, it's going to be difficult to have a healthy relationship with anyone else, including your twin flame. This is all about a very deep, true kind of self-love, you know? It's about accepting yourself for who you truly are, flaws and all. Now, practically speaking, what can you do with this hermit energy? Well, one thing you can do is to schedule some time alone each day, even if it's just for 15 minutes. Use that time to meditate, to journal, to read, or to simply sit in silence and listen to your thoughts. Create a sacred space where you can be alone with your thoughts and feelings without distractions. Another thing you can do is to disconnect from social media and technology for a while. Give yourself a break from the constant stimulation of the outside world and allow yourself to just be present in the moment. You might be surprised at how much clarity and peace you find when you unplug. And of course, spend time in nature, but this time, do it alone. Take a solo hike, sit by a quiet stream, or simply lie under a tree and listen to the sounds of nature. Let nature be your guide and your companion as you explore your inner world. The key is to avoid using this time as an excuse to isolate yourself completely or to avoid dealing with your problems. The hermit is not about hiding from the world. It's about taking the time to connect with your inner self so that you can return to the world with renewed wisdom and strength. So, to wrap up, the hermit is all about introspection, solitude, and connecting with your inner wisdom. He's urging you to take some time for yourself, to listen to your inner voice, and to discover your true path. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. The Amethyst Tower is there to help you balance your energies, and your intuition is always guiding you. Trust yourself, trust the process, and trust that this period of solitude is preparing you for something amazing. I am seriously so excited about what card is coming next, because I feel like this introspection is going to lead to something really beautiful and powerful. Okay, wow, okay. So for this card, we have the Five of Swords, which, oh my gosh, that's a really intense card, especially after all that introspection, right? I definitely think you're being called to, face some uncomfortable truths in a really, really powerful way. I think you are going to be experiencing, some conflict, maybe even some feelings of defeat, and also, I think you're going to be getting a lot more clarity through facing those conflicts, especially if you are someone who tends to, avoid conflict at all costs or, try to keep the peace. You might find that you are just, being forced to confront some difficult situations. You may have been worried, if you've been dealing with, feeling powerless or just a lack of control in general. I think that you are gaining a lot of strength through this time of confrontation. Not only that, but I think you're looking at relationships through a new lens that's more focused on honesty, a lens that's more encouraging of you to be assertive when needed, and looking at the world not as, how can I avoid conflict? But rather, how can I address this situation with integrity and authenticity? I also think that, you're going to find that yaoven if you've been doing something, like say, for example, maybe you've been in a relationship for years, you may be looking at things from a more realistic perspective, or you may be approaching your relationship in a newer way that is more focused on addressing underlying issues. So, maybe you have defined your relationship as, always harmonious in the past, and now you're saying, maybe addressing these conflicts head-on is something that could actually make the relationship even stronger. So now, you are incorporating new ways of communicating and resolving conflict that is not only allowing what you're already doing to be more honest, but also I think you may be rekindling your appreciation for each other through deeper, more meaningful understanding. I also think that you are going to find that you just feel more empowered in general. You feel more excited to stand up for yourself, to assert your needs, and I think that that strength is going to be a bit contagious. I think other people are also going to notice that shift in you, and they're going to be inspired by your courage as well. If one of your dreams is to be able to inspire others with your own personal strength, that is exactly what's coming in for you. That is a big thing where you may find that you have the courage to share your boundaries, and they really resonate with people in powerful ways. I think one thing you need to know is that you are stronger than you think. As you are shifting into this energy, and as it's coming to you, one thing that you may struggle with is just that fear that comes with conflict of, oh, but what if I hurt someone's feelings? Or, oh, maybe this isn't the right time. Or, oh, maybe I should just stay quiet. Instead, you're going to be like, no, you know what, it's okay to assert myself. No, you know what, not everyone is going to agree with me. No, you know what, this is about me and my truth. Now, thinking about how this card connects to the others, it's really interesting. With the Knight of Wands' fiery energy, the Five of Swords is saying, okay, hold on a second before you rush into things. Are you sure you're not creating unnecessary conflict? Are you fighting for the right reasons? The Knight wants to charge ahead, but the Five of Swords is whispering, is this battle worth it, and are you going to win with integrity? And with the Hierophant, who represents tradition and structure, the Five of Swords is like, okay, it's important to respect tradition, but are you blindly following rules that are causing harm? Are you upholding systems that are unjust? He's challenging the status quo, encouraging you to question authority, and to stand up for what you believe in, even if it goes against tradition. It is so much about, questioning everything right now, even questioning the very foundations of your beliefs and your role in upholding them. And then we have the Queen of Cups, who is all about emotions and intuition, so the Five of Swords is complicating that picture. She's saying, yes, trust your feelings, but also be aware that your emotions can be easily manipulated. Are you being triggered by something from the past? Are you projecting your own insecurities onto others? She's encouraging you to examine your emotional responses and to avoid reacting impulsively. You know what I mean? She's like the ultimate guide to emotional awareness in conflict. Then, with the High Priestess, who is all about trusting your intuition and connecting with your inner wisdom, the Five of Swords is testing that connection. She's saying, yes, trust your intuition, but also be open to the possibility that you might be wrong. Are you seeing the whole picture, or are you only seeing what you want to see? She's urging you to be humble and to acknowledge your own blind spots. The Five of Swords is like, be willing to question your own intuition, because even the wisest among us can be deceived. And now with the Hermit, who has just come out of deep introspection, this Five of Swords is, the challenge that comes after that solitude. Did that soul-searching stir up some uncomfortable truths that now need to be addressed? Did you uncover some wounds that are now demanding to be healed? The Hermit's journey inward has now led to a confrontation with the external world, and the Five of Swords is the battle that must be fought. But it's also important to remember that the Five of Swords isn't always about, losing. Sometimes, it's about choosing your battles wisely. It's about recognizing when it's better to walk away than to engage in a conflict that will only lead to more pain and suffering. He might be showing you that you are holding onto something that is causing harm to others and yourself. He might force you to confront those inner struggles you have been avoiding. But that's all part of the process, right? Because once you acknowledge those things, you can start to heal them and to grow. So, the Five of Swords is urging you to be honest with yourself about what you're fighting for, and to be willing to let go of anything that is no longer serving you. And this all fits so perfectly with our theme of bridging realities, harmonizing the spiritual and physical. The Five of Swords is the card that reminds you that the spiritual journey isn't always easy, that it often involves facing difficult truths and challenging your own beliefs. He embodies that amethyst tower energy, that balance, that harmony, by forcing you to confront the imbalances in your life and to take action to correct them. He understands that true peace comes from facing your demons, not from running away from them. Okay, so, what does this mean for your twin flame journey? Well, the Five of Swords could be showing up to tell you that there's a need to address some conflict or tension in your relationship with your twin flame. Maybe you've been avoiding difficult conversations, or maybe you've been suppressing your own needs and desires in order to keep the peace. The Five of Swords is urging you to be honest with yourself and with your twin flame about what's really going on, even if it's painful. Maybe you need to set some boundaries, or maybe you need to express your anger and frustration in a healthy way. The Five of Swords is saying, don't be afraid to rock the boat, because sometimes conflict is necessary for growth and healing. Maybe you've been so focused on the ideal of the twin flame connection that you've been ignoring some red flags. The Five of Swords is saying, be realistic, be honest, and don't be afraid to walk away if the relationship is causing you more harm than good. This is a really big moment for honesty and authenticity, I think. And in terms of your relationship with your twin flame, the Five of Swords could be indicating that there's a need to release the ego. Maybe you've been trying to control the relationship, or maybe you've been clinging to your own version of how things should be. The Five of Swords is encouraging you to let go of your expectations and to surrender to the divine plan. It's also important to remember that the twin flame journey is about self-love, not just about romantic love. So, if you're not loving yourself, it's going to be difficult to have a healthy relationship with anyone else, including your twin flame. This is all about a very deep, true kind of self-acceptance, you know? It's about accepting yourself and your twin flame for who you truly are, flaws and all. Now, practically speaking, what can you do with this Five of Swords energy? Well, one thing you can do is to practice active listening. When you're in a conflict, try to really hear what the other person is saying without interrupting or judging. Put yourself in their shoes and try to understand their perspective. This can help you to find common ground and to resolve conflicts in a more constructive way. Another thing you can do is to practice compassion. Even when you're angry or hurt, try to remember that everyone is doing the best they can with what they have. Offer forgiveness and understanding, both to yourself and to others. This can help you to release resentment and to move forward with a more open heart. And of course, find healthy ways to express your emotions. Don't suppress your feelings, but don't let them control you either. Find a creative outlet, talk to a therapist, or simply scream into a pillow. The key is to find a way to release your emotions in a way that is safe and healthy for yourself and for others. The key is to avoid using this time as an excuse to be mean or to create unnecessary drama. The Five of Swords is not about winning at all costs. It's about finding a way to resolve conflict with integrity and compassion. So, to wrap up, the Five of Swords is all about conflict, honesty, and releasing the ego. He's urging you to face difficult truths, to challenge your beliefs, and to stand up for what you believe in. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. The Amethyst Tower is there to help you balance your energies, and your intuition is always guiding you. Trust yourself, trust the process, and trust that this period of conflict is leading you to a deeper level of understanding and authenticity. I am seriously so excited about what card is coming next, because I feel like this conflict is going to lead to some major breakthroughs and transformations. Okay. So for this card, we have the Moon, which, oh my gosh, that's a really mysterious card, especially after all that conflict and honesty, right? I definitely think you're being called to, explore the depths of your subconscious in a really, really powerful way. I think you are going to be experiencing, some confusion, maybe even some feelings of anxiety and fear. And also, I think you're going to be getting a lot more clarity through facing those fears, especially if you are someone who tends to, avoid your emotions at all costs or, try to stay in control. You might find that you are just, being pulled into the unknown. You may have been worried, if you've been dealing with, feeling uncertain or just a lack of clarity in general. I think that you are gaining a lot of insight, even though it might not feel like it right now. Not only that, but I think you're looking at your inner world through a new lens that's more accepting of the shadows, a lens that's more encouraging of you to embrace the unknown and looking at the world not as, how can I stay safe and certain, but rather, how can I navigate this uncertainty with trust and courage? I also think that, you're going to find that Yaoven if you've been doing something, say, for example, maybe you've been in a relationship for years, you may be looking at things from a more intuitive perspective, or you may be approaching your relationship in a newer way that is more focused on uncovering hidden emotions. So, maybe you have defined your relationship as, always logical and rational in the past, and now you're saying, maybe there are some deeper subconscious fears that are affecting our connection. So now you are incorporating new ways of understanding each other that is not only allowing what you're already doing to be more authentic, but also I think you may be rekindling your intimacy through vulnerability and honesty. I also think that you are going to find that you just feel more sensitive in general. You feel more connected to your intuition, your dreams, and I think that heightened awareness is going to be a bit overwhelming at times. I think other people are also going to notice that shift in you, and they're going to be inspired by your vulnerability as well. If one of your dreams is to be able to inspire others with your emotional honesty, that is exactly what's coming in for you. That is a big thing where you may find that you have the courage to share your fears, and they really resonate with people in powerful ways. I think one thing you need to know is that it's okay to feel afraid. As you're shifting into this energy, and as it's coming to you, one thing that you may struggle with is just that anxiety that comes with uncertainty of, oh, but what if things don't work out? Or, oh, maybe I'm making a mistake. Or, oh, maybe I should just stay where I am. Instead, you're going to be like, no, you know what? It's okay to feel uncertain. No, you know what? Not everything has to be clear right now. No, you know what? This is about me trusting my intuition and embracing the unknown. Now, thinking about how this card connects to the others, it's really interesting. With the Knight of Wands' fiery energy, the moon is saying, okay, hold on a second before you rush into things. Are you sure you're not running away from your fears? Are you being honest with yourself about your motivations? The Knight wants to charge ahead, but the moon is whispering, what are you really afraid of, and how is that fear driving your actions? And with the Hierophant, who represents tradition and structure, the moon is like, okay, it's important to respect tradition, but are you blindly following rules that are based on fear? Are you clinging to outdated beliefs that are holding you back? He's challenging the status quo, encouraging you to question the foundations of your reality, and to create a new world based on love and trust, not fear. It is so much about, questioning everything right now, even questioning the very nature of reality and your place within it. And then we have the Queen of Cups, who is all about emotions and intuition, so the moon is amplifying that energy, but also adding a layer of complexity. She's saying, yes, trust your feelings, but also be aware that your emotions can be easily distorted by your fears and anxieties. Are you seeing things clearly, or are you projecting your own insecurities onto others? She's encouraging you to examine your emotional responses and to discern between your true intuition and your fears. You know what I mean? She's like the ultimate guide to navigating the emotional landscape of the subconscious. Then, with the High Priestess, who is all about trusting your intuition and connecting with your inner wisdom, the moon is testing that connection. She's saying, yes, trust your intuition, but also be prepared to face your shadow self. Are you willing to confront the dark and hidden aspects of your own psyche? She's urging you to embrace your fears and anxieties as opportunities for growth and transformation. The moon is like, the path to enlightenment is through the darkness. And now with the Hermit, who has just come out of deep introspection, and the Five of Swords with all that conflict, the moon is like, showing you what all that soul-searching stirred up. It's like, all those hidden fears and anxieties are now bubbling to the surface, demanding to be acknowledged and healed. The Hermit's journey inward has led to a confrontation with the shadows, and the moon is the light that illuminates those shadows, forcing you to face them head-on. But it's also important to remember that the moon isn't always about, like, doom and gloom. Sometimes, it's about trusting the process, even when you don't know where you're going. It's about having faith that you're being guided, even when you can't see the path ahead. He might be showing you that you are holding onto something that is causing anxiety and fear, but that you also have the power to release it. He might force you to confront those inner demons you have been avoiding, but he also offers the promise of healing and transformation. But that's all part of the process, right? Because once you acknowledge those things, you can start to heal them and to grow. So, like, the moon is urging you to be brave, to trust your intuition, and to embrace the unknown. And this all fits so perfectly with our theme of bridging realities, harmonizing the spiritual and physical. The moon is the card that reminds you that the spiritual journey isn't always logical or rational, that it often involves diving into the depths of your subconscious and facing your deepest fears. He embodies that amethyst tower energy, that balance, that harmony, by forcing you to confront the imbalances within yourself and to take action to correct them. He understands that true peace comes from accepting all aspects of yourself, both light and shadow. Okay, so, like, what does this mean for your twin flame journey? Well, the moon could be showing up to tell you that there's a need to address some hidden fears and anxieties in your relationship with your twin flame. Maybe you've been avoiding difficult conversations, or maybe you've been suppressing your own needs and desires in order to avoid conflict. The moon is urging you to be honest with yourself and with your twin flame about what's really going on, even if it's scary. Maybe you need to confront some painful truths about yourself or about your twin flame. The moon is saying, don't be afraid to dive deep, because the only way to heal is to face your fears head-on. Maybe you've been so focused on the ideal of the twin flame connection that you've been ignoring some red flags or some deeper issues. The moon is saying, be realistic, be honest, and trust your intuition, even when it's telling you something you don't want to hear. This is a really big moment for honesty and vulnerability, I think. And in terms of your relationship with your twin flame, the moon could be indicating that there's a need to release control and surrender to the process. Maybe you've been trying to force things to happen, or maybe you've been clinging to your own version of how things should be. The moon is encouraging you to let go of your expectations and to trust that everything is unfolding as it should. It's also important to remember that the twin flame journey is about self-love, not just about romantic love. So, if you're not loving yourself, it's going to be difficult to have a healthy relationship with anyone else, including your twin flame. This is all about a very deep, true kind of self-acceptance, you know? It's about accepting yourself and your twin flame for who you truly are, flaws and all. Now, practically speaking, what can you do with this moon energy? Well, one thing you can do is to practice shadow work. This involves identifying and exploring the dark and hidden aspects of your own psyche. Keep a journal and write down your fears, your insecurities, and your negative thoughts. Then, challenge those thoughts and try to find the underlying causes. This can help you to release limiting beliefs and to embrace your true potential. Another thing you can do is to practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Observe your emotions as they arise and pass away without getting caught up in them. This can help you to develop a greater sense of awareness and to avoid reacting impulsively. And, of course, spend time in nature, especially at night. The moon is a powerful symbol of intuition and the subconscious, so spending time under the moonlight can help you to connect with your inner wisdom and to embrace the unknown. The key is to avoid using this time as an excuse to isolate yourself or to indulge in your fears. The moon is not about giving in to anxiety, It's about facing your fears with courage and compassion. So, to wrap up, the moon is all about illusion, fear, and trusting your intuition. She's urging you to dive deep, to explore your subconscious, and to embrace the unknown. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. The Amethyst Tower is there to help you balance your energies, and your intuition is always guiding you. Trust yourself, trust the process, and trust that this period of uncertainty is leading you to a deeper level of understanding and authenticity. I am seriously so excited about what card is coming next, because I feel like this journey into the subconscious is going to lead to some major breakthroughs and transformations. Okay. So for this card, we have Justice, which, oh my gosh, is a really powerful card to end on, especially after that trip through the subconscious with the moon, right? I definitely think you're being called to, step into your power and take responsibility for your life in a really, really powerful way. I think you are going to be experiencing, some major shifts in your perspective, and also, I think you're going to be getting a lot more clarity on what's truly important to you, especially if you are someone who tends to, avoid taking responsibility for your actions or, blame others for your problems. You might find that you are just, being forced to confront the consequences of your choices. You may have been worried, if you've been dealing with, feeling victimized or just a lack of control in general. I think that you are gaining a lot of agency through this time of reckoning. Not only that, but I think you're looking at your relationships through a new lens that's more focused on fairness and equality, a lens that's more encouraging of you to stand up for what's right, and looking at the world not as, how can I get away with things? But rather, how can I create a more just and equitable world for myself and for others? I also think that, you're going to find that Yaoven if you've been doing something, say, for example, maybe you've been in a relationship for years, you may be looking at things from a more balanced perspective, or you may be approaching your relationship in a newer way that is more focused on creating a fair and equitable partnership. So, maybe you have defined your relationship as, always being about one person's needs in the past, and now you're saying, maybe it's time to create a more balanced dynamic where both of our needs are being met. So now, you are incorporating new ways of relating to each other that is not only allowing what you're already doing to be more sustainable, but also, I think you may be rekindling your respect for each other through honesty and fairness. I also think that you are going to find that you just feel more empowered in general. You feel more aligned with your values, more confident in your decisions, and I think that integrity is going to be a bit contagious. I think other people are also going to notice that shift in you, and they're going to be inspired by your authenticity as well. If one of your dreams is to be able to inspire others with your ethical behavior, that is exactly what's coming in for you. That is a big thing where you may find that you have the courage to stand up for what's right, and they really resonate with people in powerful ways. I think one thing you need to know is that you are a force for good in the world. As you're shifting into this energy, and as it's coming to you, one thing that you may struggle with is just that fear that comes with taking responsibility of, oh, but what if I mess things up? Or, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Or, oh, maybe I should just stay in my comfort zone. Instead, you're going to be no, you know what, it's okay to make mistakes. No, you know what, not everyone is going to agree with me. No, you know what, this is about me living in alignment with my values and creating a better world for everyone. Now, thinking about how this card connects to the others, it's really interesting. With the Knight of Wands fiery energy, Justice is saying, okay, hold on a second before you rush into things. Are you sure you're acting with integrity? Are you considering the consequences of your actions? The Knight wants to charge ahead, but Justice is whispering, is this the right thing to do? And are you willing to take responsibility for the outcome? And with the Hierophant, who represents tradition and structure, Justice is okay, it's important to respect tradition, but are you blindly following rules that are unjust? Are you upholding systems that are oppressive? He's challenging the status quo, encouraging you to question authority and to fight for what you believe in, even if it means breaking the rules. It is so much about questioning everything right now, even questioning the very foundations of society and your role in upholding them. And then we have the Queen of Cups, who is all about emotions and intuition, so Justice is adding a layer of balance and objectivity. She's saying, yes, trust your feelings, but also be aware that your emotions can cloud your judgment. Are you being fair and impartial, or are you letting your personal biases influence your decisions? She's encouraging you to examine your emotional responses and to make sure that you're acting with compassion and understanding. You know what I mean? She's like the ultimate guide to ethical decision-making. Then, with the High Priestess, who is all about trusting your intuition and connecting with your inner wisdom, Justice is testing that connection. She's saying, yes, trust your intuition, but also be prepared to face the truth, even if it's painful. Are you willing to acknowledge your own mistakes and take responsibility for your actions? She's urging you to be honest with yourself and with others, and to live in alignment with your values. The Five of Swords, with all of its conflict, then gets a dose of, fairness, you know? Justice is asking you to examine what role you play in creating these conflicts. And now with the Hermit, who has just come out of deep introspection, and the Moon, who is illuminating your subconscious, Justice is showing you the path to healing and wholeness. It's like all those shadows and fears that you've been facing are now being brought into the light, allowing you to integrate them into your being and to create a more balanced and harmonious life. The Hermit's journey inward has led to a confrontation with the truth, and Justice is the force that guides you towards reconciliation and forgiveness. But it's also important to remember that justice isn't always about, punishment. Sometimes, it's about setting boundaries, protecting yourself, and standing up for what you believe in. It's about recognizing your own worth and demanding to be treated with respect. He might be showing you that you are holding onto something that is causing harm to yourself or to others, and that it's time to let go. He might force you to confront those patterns of behavior that are no longer serving you, but he also offers the promise of liberation and empowerment. But that's all part of the process, right? Because once you acknowledge those things, you can start to heal them and to grow. So, Justice is urging you to be courageous, to be honest, and to be true to yourself. And this all fits so perfectly with our theme of bridging realities, harmonizing the spiritual and physical. Justice is the card that reminds you that the spiritual journey isn't just about inner peace and enlightenment. It's also about taking action in the world and creating a more just and equitable society. He embodies that amethyst tower energy, that balance, that harmony, by forcing you to confront the imbalances in your life and to take action to correct them. He understands that true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your values and making a positive impact on the world. Okay, so, what does this mean for your twin flame journey? Well, Justice could be showing up to tell you that there's a need to address some imbalances in your relationship with your twin flame. Maybe you've been giving too much and receiving too little, or maybe you've been sacrificing your own needs in order to please your twin flame. Justice is urging you to create a more balanced and equitable partnership where both of your needs are being met. Maybe you need to have some difficult conversations, or maybe you need to set some boundaries. Justice is saying, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, because you deserve to be treated with respect and fairness. Maybe you've been so focused on the idea of the twin flame connection that you've been ignoring some red flags or some deeper issues. Justice is saying, be realistic, be honest, and trust your intuition, even when it's telling you something you don't want to hear. This is a really big moment for honesty and self-respect, I think. And in terms of your relationship with your twin flame, Justice could be indicating that there's a need to release any expectations or judgments you may have about the relationship. Maybe you've been trying to force things to happen, or maybe you've been clinging to your own version of how things should be. Justice is encouraging you to let go of your expectations and to trust that everything is unfolding as it should. It's also important to remember that the twin flame journey is about self-love, not just about romantic love. So, if you're not loving yourself, it's going to be difficult to have a healthy relationship with anyone else, including your twin flame. This is all about a very deep, true kind of self-acceptance, you know? It's about accepting yourself and your twin flame for who you truly are, flaws and all. Now, practically speaking, what can you do with this justice energy? Well, one thing you can do is to practice self-reflection. Take some time to examine your own actions and motivations, and to identify any areas where you may be acting out of alignment with your values. Ask yourself, am I being fair to myself and to others? Am I taking responsibility for my actions? Am I living in integrity? This can help you to identify patterns of behavior that are no longer serving you and to make positive changes in your life. Another thing you can do is to practice forgiveness. Forgive yourself for your past mistakes and forgive others for any harm they may have caused you. Holding on to resentment and anger will only hold you back from moving forward. Forgiveness is a powerful tool for healing and liberation. And of course, stand up for what you believe in. Use your voice to speak out against injustice, to advocate for those who are marginalized, and to create a more equitable world for all. The key is to avoid using this energy to judge or condemn yourself or others. Justice is not about punishment, it's about creating a more balanced and harmonious world. So, to wrap up, justice is all about balance, fairness, and responsibility. He's urging you to live in alignment with your values, to stand up for what you believe in, and to create a more just and equitable world. You know, looking back at all these cards together, it really paints a picture of a journey, doesn't it? The Knight of Wands sparks the initial fire, the Hierophant gives you a foundation, the Queen of Cups brings in the emotion, the High Priestess awakens your intuition, the Hermit encourages you to look within, the Five of Swords forces you to confront conflict, the Moon dives into the subconscious, and finally, Justice helps you integrate all of those experiences into a balanced and meaningful life. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. The Amethyst Tower is there to help you balance your energies, and your intuition is always guiding you. Trust yourself, trust the process, and trust that this period of transformation is leading you to a deeper level of understanding and fulfillment. You've got this. This whole reading, with all of its twists and turns, really shows you that you are on a path of growth, healing, and empowerment, and I'm so incredibly excited to see what you create in your life. And I am seriously just so honored to be a part of your journey. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. Okay, so you pick the Opal Raw Crystal, which is all about protection and absorbing negative energy, which is so perfect with our theme of echoes of the past, integrating lessons and boundaries, because it's like we're being shielded as we look back and learn. It's like a gentle nudge to set healthy boundaries, you know. All right, so the first card we have is the Sun, and oh my gosh, this is huge, like literally the most positive card in the deck, right? So the Sun often represents joy, success, vitality, abundance. I mean, it's just pure, radiant energy. And seeing it here at the beginning of this reading, it's like a spotlight is being shown on, like clarity is just beaming down. Think about it, with the theme being echoes of the past. The Sun could be illuminating something that was once hidden in the shadows, you know? Something that you maybe couldn't quite see clearly before. It could mean a situation from your past is finally being brought into the light, and you're now able to understand it with a new perspective, and you're able to see all aspects of it so clearly. Maybe there were misunderstandings or things that were left unsaid, and now the Sun is bringing that truth to the surface. It's like you're finally seeing the whole picture, you know? And with the opal there protecting you, it feels like you're in a safe space to acknowledge and process these things, like you're not going to get burned by the intensity of it, you're protected. And also, the Sun is just such a powerful sign of, like, happiness and optimism. So this could be suggesting that as you integrate these lessons from the past, and as you start to understand your boundaries, it is gonna bring so much joy, you know. It's like the weight is lifted, and you are finally able to move forward with, like, a lightness and excitement, and it's like you're stepping into your power. The Sun can sometimes represent a child or childlike joy, so maybe this lesson from the past involves your inner child in some way. Maybe there's some healing that needs to happen there, or some part of you that needs to be nurtured and loved. And it's like, by addressing these past issues, you're actually giving your inner child what it needs to thrive, and that is gonna bring a lot of happiness to your life. So, the Sun is like, okay, time to see things clearly, time to embrace joy, time to step into your power. But it's not just about, ignoring the past. It's about learning from it and integrating it into your present so that you can create a brighter future. Okay, that's just so beautiful. I love this card so much. Now, next up we have the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my goodness, this is getting so good. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune is all about cycles, destiny, turning points, and oh my gosh, it just fits so perfectly with the theme of echoes of the past. This is literally about the past coming back around, but in a way that can actually propel you forward, and it emphasizes the theme we're working with so well, because this card is often about fate and destiny, but it also reminds us that we have a role to play in our own lives, We're not just passive observers, we're active participants, and this card is often about the choices that we make and how they influence our journey. So, with the echoes of the past theme, the Wheel of Fortune could be saying that past actions or decisions are now coming full circle. Maybe you planted some seeds a while ago, and now you're starting to see the fruits of your labor, or maybe there are consequences that you're now facing because of choices you made in the past. But here's the exciting part, because it's not about dwelling on regrets or feeling stuck in the past, it's about recognizing these cycles and learning from them. Because the wheel is always turning, right? Nothing stays the same forever, and it means that even if you're going through a difficult time right now, it's not going to last forever. Things are going to change. And it means that if you are in a really good place, enjoy it, appreciate it, because that too will change, And it is all part of the natural flow of life. Also, the Wheel of Fortune is often associated with luck, both good and bad. So maybe this is a time where you're going to experience some unexpected opportunities or challenges. And it's about being open to those experiences and trusting that everything is happening for a reason, and that even the difficult times are ultimately going to lead you to where you need to be. So, it's also about embracing the uncertainty of life and trusting that the universe has your back. And because we have the sun, it's like the wheel is turning towards a brighter future, The lessons you've learned, the cycles you've completed, they're all leading you to a place of greater joy and fulfillment. It's like you're leveling up, and you're ready to embrace a new chapter in your life. And because of the opal's protection, it feels like you're divinely guided through this process, You're not just being thrown around by the wheel, you're actually being supported and protected as you navigate these changes, and these cycles, and as you move forward. The Wheel of Fortune can also sometimes indicate that there's a fated encounter coming your way. So maybe there's someone from your past who's going to reappear in your life, or maybe you're going to meet someone new who is going to play a significant role in your journey. And it's important to be open to these connections and to trust that they are happening for a reason and that they are ultimately going to help you grow and evolve. It can also mean that some wish is about to be fulfilled, That you have been hopping and waiting for something, and the wheel is spinning in your favor, and that wish is coming true and is about to come into fruition. So the sun is shining a light, the wheel is turning, and now we have the star. Oh, I love this. This is like the most beautiful card in the deck, right? So the star represents hope, faith, healing, and inspiration. And after the intensity of the Wheel of Fortune and the clarity of the sun, the star is like a gentle balm for the soul, especially with the theme of integrating lessons and boundaries. It's like a signal that after a period of change and uncertainty, you are now entering a time of peace and tranquility. The star is often associated with Aquarius energy, which is all about humanitarianism, innovation, and looking towards the future. So, this could be a time where you're feeling called to give back to others, or to get involved in a cause that you're passionate about. And it's like, by focusing on something bigger than yourself, you're actually going to find healing and inspiration, and it reminds you that you're connected to something larger, and there is more to life than just our day-to-day struggles, And with the echoes of the past theme, the star is like, okay, you've learned your lessons, you've faced your challenges, and now it's time to heal and move forward with hope. It's like the past is no longer weighing you down, and you are finally able to see a brighter future for yourself. And it can often mean that, after a difficult period, you're finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, you're starting to feel more optimistic about the future, and you're starting to believe that things are going to get better. The star is also about trusting in the universe and having faith that everything is going to work out for the best. And it's like, even when things seem dark, there is always a light guiding you forward. You just have to trust that you're on the right path and that you're being supported by something greater than yourself, which is so beautiful. It encourages you to keep believing, keep hopping, and keep moving forward, even when things are difficult. And because we have the sun and the wheel of fortune, the star is like the culmination of all that energy, you know. The sun's clarity has helped you to see the past in a new light, the wheel of fortune has brought you through a period of change, and now the star is guiding you towards a future filled with hope and healing. It's like you're finally aligning with your true purpose, and you're ready to shine your light into the world. The star can also represent creativity and inspiration, so this could be a time where you're feeling called to express yourself through art, music, writing, or any other creative outlet. And it could be that by tapping into your creativity, you're actually able to heal old wounds and find new meaning in your life. Or it could also mean that you are reconnecting with your spirituality or finding a deeper sense of purpose, and that you're starting to feel more connected to something larger than yourself, and that you are finding peace and comfort in your faith or spiritual practice. So these three cards together. It's like you're being called to look at the past with clarity and honesty, the sun, to embrace the changes that are happening in your life, wheel of fortune, and to trust that you are being guided towards a future filled with hope and healing, the star. It's all about integrating those past lessons, setting healthy boundaries, and stepping into your power with confidence and faith, you know, and the opal is there to protect you every step of the way. This is just such a powerful and beautiful message. Okay, so, thinking about all three cards together with our theme, it feels like the echoes of the past are actually leading you to a place of incredible healing and transformation. Like the past isn't something to be feared or avoided, but rather something to be embraced and learned from, and that by understanding your past, you're actually creating a brighter future for yourself. Because the sun is illuminating those past experiences, the wheel of fortune is turning towards a more positive outcome, and the star is guiding you towards hope and healing. It's like the universe is conspiring to help you create the life you've always dreamed of, you know? It feels like a powerful invitation to step into your authentic self and to shine your light brightly into the world, that you're finally ready to embrace your true potential and to live a life filled with joy, purpose, and love. And it's all about integrating the lessons from the past to set the foundation for a brilliant future, so get ready. Okay, so after all that, the next card is the Five of Wands, which is like a very different vibe from what we've had so far, you know? I mean, we've had all this, like clarity and hope and destiny, and now we've got like a brawl, basically, because the Five of Wands is often about conflict, competition, disagreements, sometimes even chaos. So, like, how does this fit into integrating lessons and boundaries and all that? Well, I think this card is showing you, like, potential challenges or obstacles that might come up as you're going through this process of, you know, really integrating those lessons from the past and, you know, really trying to set healthy boundaries. It's like the universe is kind of saying, okay, you've got this clarity from the sun, you've got this hope from the star, and the wheel of fortune is turning in your favor, but like, don't think it's going to be smooth sailing from here on out, because there's going to be some, like, friction along the way. And it's about, like, how you navigate that friction and how you deal with those disagreements or conflicts, you know? So, like, thinking about echoes of the past. This Five of Wands could be representing, like, old arguments or disagreements that are resurfacing, you know? Like maybe you thought you had resolved something with someone, but now it's coming back up again, or maybe you're finding that those old patterns of conflict are starting to creep back into your life, you know? And it's like, you're being challenged to, like, deal with these conflicts in a new and healthier way. It's not about suppressing them or avoiding them, but about actually addressing them head-on, you know? Or it could be that, as you start to set these new boundaries, you're going to encounter resistance from other people. Like maybe they're used to you being a certain way, or maybe they're not happy about you changing the dynamic of the relationship, or maybe they just don't respect your boundaries, And so, you're going to have to, stand your ground and assert yourself, even if it means facing some conflict, And it's like you're learning to, be firm and clear about what you need and what you're not willing to tolerate anymore. It's like, think of it this way, if you've always been the one to say yes to everything, and now you're starting to say no, people aren't going to like that, right? They're going to push back, they're going to try to guilt you, they're going to try to manipulate you into going back to the old way of doing things, And that's where the Five of Wands comes in, because you're going to have to, fight for your right to set those boundaries, and you're going to have to be prepared to deal with the conflict that comes with that. But here's the thing, it's not necessarily a bad thing, Because sometimes conflict can actually be a catalyst for growth and change. Maybe those disagreements are actually bringing things to the surface that need to be addressed, or maybe they're forcing you to, really define your boundaries even more clearly, It's like by engaging in these conflicts, you're actually learning more about yourself, and you're learning more about what you need in order to thrive. And also, the Five of Wands can sometimes represent internal conflict, Maybe you're struggling with conflicting desires or beliefs, or maybe there's a part of you that's resisting these changes that you're trying to make, Maybe you want to set boundaries, but you're also afraid of hurting people's feelings, or maybe you want to move on from the past, but you're also clinging to old habits and patterns. So, it's about recognizing those internal conflicts and, finding a way to integrate those different parts of yourself, It's not about suppressing those conflicting desires, but about understanding where they're coming from and finding a way to, negotiate between them, so you can, move forward in a way that feels authentic and aligned with your values. It can also mean that you are indecisive about which path you should take and that you are unsure of which way to go, so you end up just going around in circles, not really getting anywhere. And remember, we have the opal, right? Which is all about protection. So, it feels like the opal is there to help shield you from the negative effects of these conflicts, It's like it's helping you to stay grounded and centered, even when things get chaotic, and it's helping you to, maintain your boundaries and not get pulled into other people's drama. It's like the opal is reminding you that you don't have to take on everyone else's problems, and you don't have to get involved in every argument, You can choose to step back and observe, and you can choose to protect your energy and not get drained by the negativity. So it acts as a filter. So, with the Five of Wands and the opal together, it's like you're being called to, navigate these conflicts with awareness and discernment, It's not about avoiding conflict altogether, but about choosing your battles wisely and protecting yourself from getting, overwhelmed or drained. And it's about using these conflicts as opportunities for growth and self-discovery, and really learning what is worth fighting for, And I think that's really important, because with the sun and the star, there's this sense of optimism and hope, but the Five of Wands is kind of a reality check, It's saying, okay, things are looking good, but don't get complacent, because there are still going to be challenges along the way, and you need to be prepared to face them. And it's like, you are being reminded that growth is not always linear, it's not always easy, it's not always comfortable. There are going to be times where you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and there are going to be times where you feel like you're in the middle of a battle, and that you have to fight for what you believe in, But it's all part of the process, and it's all leading you to a place of greater strength and resilience. And ultimately, you're learning to, stand in your power and to create a life that is truly aligned with your values. And the more that you can do this, the more that you will feel fulfilled. The conflict in the Five of Wands is a reminder that you have a voice, you have needs, and you have the right to express them, even if it means ruffling some feathers, So, don't be afraid to speak your truth, don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in, and don't be afraid to set boundaries, even if it means facing some conflict, because that's how you create a life that is truly authentic and fulfilling, and that is what you deserve. It's about finding that balance between, being assertive and compassionate, It's not about being aggressive or confrontational, but about being clear and direct about what you need, while also being mindful of other people's feelings, And it's about recognizing that everyone has their own perspective, and everyone is fighting their own battles. And sometimes those battles are going to clash with yours, and that's okay, It doesn't mean that anyone is wrong or bad. It just means that you have different needs and different perspectives, and it's about finding a way to navigate those differences with respect and understanding. I think this card is really about learning how to deal with conflict in a healthy and constructive way, and using it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery, It's like you're learning to become a better communicator, a better negotiator, and a better advocate for yourself. And ultimately, you're learning to create stronger and more authentic relationships with the people in your life, and that is so important. Also, it can be a warning not to get drawn into other people's arguments or conflicts, because you might just be wasting your time and energy on something that is not really your problem. It's about knowing when to step away and when to protect your energy, and not getting caught up in other people's drama. And with the echoes of the past theme, it's like you're being given the opportunity to, heal those old wounds and break those old patterns of conflict, You're learning to respond to conflict in a new and healthier way, and you're creating a new narrative for yourself, where conflict doesn't have to be a negative thing, but can actually be a catalyst for growth and connection, and that is so powerful, It can also mean that you are in competition with someone for something that you both want, and it's important to be aware of your own motivations, and to make sure that you are not sacrificing your values or integrity in order to win, because that will never lead to true fulfillment, and that is something that you always need to remember. And with the opal there, it's like you're being reminded to stay true to yourself and to protect your energy even in the face of competition, So, yeah, the Five of Wands. It's like, get ready for some friction, but don't be afraid of it, Embrace it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery, and remember to protect your energy and stay true to yourself. And that is the most important thing, and those boundaries that you are looking to set, make sure they are strong and not easily swayed. Okay, I'm really excited to see what comes next. Okay, so after all that drama with the Five of Wands, all that conflict and stuff, we now have the Page of Wands, and it's phew, a breath of fresh air, Because the Page of Wands is all about new ideas, inspiration, exploration, and just this youthful enthusiasm for life, so it is a complete 180 from the Five of Wands, right? And it's interesting because it's still wands, right? So it's still fire energy, it's still about passion and drive, but it's a much more innocent and almost naive energy than the Five of Wands, which is all-out war, So thinking about echoes of the past and integrating lessons, this Page of Wands could be a message about how to approach those past experiences with a new sense of curiosity and openness, Instead of getting bogged down in the conflict and the drama, like we saw with the Five of Wands, it is an invitation to look at those experiences as opportunities for learning and growth, what can you learn from this situation? What new perspectives can you gain? Or it could be that the Page of Wands represents a person, Maybe someone new is about to enter your life who is going to bring this fresh energy and inspiration. Or maybe it's someone who embodies that youthful, enthusiastic spirit, And it's this person is going to help you see things in a new light and encourage you to pursue your passions and dreams. Or maybe this is even about you embodying that page energy, right? Tapping into your own inner child and rediscovering that sense of wonder and excitement about life. That could also be it, And with the sun and the star in the mix, it's you're being guided to approach the future with optimism and faith. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it's you're ready to embrace new opportunities and experiences, So, the Page of Wands is kind of the green light to go ahead and explore those possibilities, to take that first step towards your dreams, and to do it all with a sense of joy and excitement, which is so cool, But it's also important to remember that the Page of Wands is still a page, right? So, there's a certain level of immaturity or inexperience that comes with that energy. And it is like, you might be full of ideas and enthusiasm, but you might not have all the skills or knowledge to actually bring those ideas to fruition, you know? And it is like, you might get easily distracted or lose interest when things get tough, you know? So, it's important to temper that enthusiasm with a healthy dose of realism, and to be willing to put in the work and effort that's required to achieve your goals, you know? And that Five of Wands, it's still there, right? So, it's like, even though you're feeling all this new inspiration and excitement, you're still going to encounter challenges and obstacles along the way, and you're still going to have to deal with conflict and disagreements, you know. But the Page of Wands is encouraging you to approach those challenges with a sense of playfulness and creativity, and to not take yourself too seriously, you know. It's like, remember that it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to fail, and it's okay to ask for help, you know. It's all part of the learning process, and it's all going to help you grow and evolve, and it also reminds you to be open to new experiences and opportunities, even if they seem a little bit scary or unfamiliar, because you never know where they might lead. And with the Echoes of the Past theme, maybe this is about revisiting something you were passionate about as a child or a young adult, you know. Like maybe you used to love painting or writing or playing music, and you kind of let that go as you got older, and now the Page of Wands is like, hey, remember that thing you used to love? Why don't you try picking it up again? You know. And it could be a really healing and empowering experience to reconnect with those old passions. And it could also help you to see your past in a new light. And it could be that you're able to find new meaning and purpose in your life by tapping into that childlike sense of wonder and creativity. Or it could be that you are starting a new creative project or hobby. Something that you have always wanted to do but have never had the time or the courage to pursue. And it is like, this is the perfect time to start exploring those possibilities and to let your creativity flow. And it is like, don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on having fun and expressing yourself, and you might be surprised at what you're able to create. This card is really about embracing that beginner's mind, you know? Like, approaching things with a sense of curiosity and openness, and not being afraid to try new things or to make mistakes. And that is so important, especially when you're integrating lessons from the past, because you're basically rewriting your story, right? And you can't rewrite your story if you're stuck in the same old patterns and ways of thinking. And it is like, you have to be willing to break free from those limitations and to embrace new possibilities. And the Page of Wands is giving you that permission to do so. Also, because we have the opal there protecting you, it feels like you're being encouraged to take risks and to step outside of your comfort zone, but in a way that feels safe and supported, you know. Like you're not being thrown into the deep end without a life jacket. You're actually being guided and protected as you explore these new territories. And that is so reassuring. And it's like, the opal is reminding you that you're not alone on this journey, and that you have the strength and resilience to overcome any challenges that come your way, you know. And like, thinking about boundaries, the Page of Wands can also be about setting boundaries with your time and energy, you know. Like, it's easy to get caught up in all the excitement and enthusiasm of new ideas, but it's important to be mindful of your limits and to not overcommit yourself. And it's about learning to say no to things that don't align with your values or your goals, and to prioritize the things that are truly important to you. And that is so crucial. Especially when you're trying to integrate lessons from the past, because you need to have the space and energy to process those experiences and to create new patterns and habits. And you can't do that if you're constantly running around and doing things for other people. And it is like, you need to put yourself first, and you need to honor your own needs and boundaries. And the Page of Wands is encouraging you to do just that. It can also mean that you are feeling inspired to learn something new, something that you have always been interested in but have never had the chance to study. And it is like, this is the perfect time to enroll in a class, or to start reading books, or to watch documentaries, whatever it takes to expand your knowledge and understanding of the world. And that could be incredibly fulfilling and empowering, and it could also open up new doors and opportunities for you in the future. And it's like, don't be afraid to be a beginner, don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that is all part of the learning process, and the more that you learn, the more that you grow, and the more that you grow, the more that you are able to contribute to the world. And also, the Page of Wands can sometimes represent a message or a communication, Like, maybe you're about to receive some exciting news or information that is going to inspire you and motivate you to take action, or maybe you're feeling called to share your own ideas and insights with the world. And it is like, don't be afraid to speak your truth. Don't be afraid to express your creativity, and don't be afraid to let your voice be heard, because you have something valuable to offer. And the world needs your unique perspective, and it is like, you never know who you might inspire or what kind of impact you might have, and that is so powerful. So yeah, the Page of Wands is like a spark of inspiration, a burst of enthusiasm, and a reminder to approach life with a sense of curiosity and openness, but also to be mindful of your limits and to protect your energy. And it's like you're being encouraged to take risks, to step outside of your comfort zone, and to embrace new possibilities, all while being guided and protected by the universe. And that is so exciting, It's like the universe is saying, I believe in you, I support you, and I'm here to help you create the life you've always dreamed of. And it's like, what could be better than that? Remember all the stuff that came before, though, like, it is not going to all be sunshine and roses, But that's okay, because the Page of Wands is also about resilience and perseverance, and it's about knowing that you have the strength and the ability to overcome any challenges that come your way. And with that opal there, you're extra protected as you do so, So get ready to explore. Okay, I can't wait to see what the last card is. I'm so excited. Okay. So after that Page of Wands energy, all that new inspiration, we have the Six of Cups. Wow, okay. So like the Six of Cups, this is a really interesting card, and it definitely ties into the echoes of the past theme. Because the Six of Cups is often about nostalgia, memories, childhood, and reconnecting with the past in some way. So like, how does this fit in with everything else we've got going on? Well, like the sun, the wheel, and the star. It's like those cards are all about moving forward, right? They're about seeing things clearly, embracing change, and having hope for the future, but the Six of Cups is like, it's pulling us back a little bit. It is making us look at where we've come from. So, I think this is really about integrating those past experiences, like the theme says, not forgetting them or ignoring them, but really understanding how they've shaped you into the person you are today, And I think what's interesting is, we had that Five of Wands, right? Which was all about conflict and disagreements, so maybe this Six of Cups is about revisiting some of those old conflicts, but with a new perspective, Like, maybe there are some old wounds that need to be healed, or some apologies that need to be made, or maybe it's just about understanding where the other person was coming from, and finding some compassion for them, It can also literally mean someone from your past is coming back into your life, This could be an old friend, a former lover, even a family member. It could be someone you haven't seen or spoken to in years. And it is like, they're coming back for a reason, Maybe there's something that needs to be resolved, or maybe they're just there to offer you support and guidance, or maybe they're just there to, remind you of the good old days, But whatever the reason, it's important to be open to this reconnection and to see what it has to offer. And I feel like, especially with the opal there, it's like this reconnection is happening for your highest good, It is not something to be feared, it's something to be embraced, and that opal will continue to protect you from any negative energy surrounding it. But it's not just about romanticizing the past, The Six of Cups can also be a warning about getting stuck in the past, and it is like, you don't want to live in the past, you want to learn from it and move forward, right? So, it's about finding that balance between appreciating the good memories and recognizing that things have changed and you can't go back, You can't recreate those old experiences, but you can create new ones, and the Page of Wands is there to help you do that, It's there to inspire you to try new things and to explore new possibilities, and to not get bogged down in the nostalgia. Thinking about the twin flame connection, this card can be really significant, and it is like, twin flames often have a shared past, right? There's often a lot of history there, a lot of karma, a lot of unfinished business, and the Six of Cups can be a sign that it's time to revisit some of that past and to heal any wounds that are still lingering. It can also mean that you and your twin flame are being called to reconnect with your inner child and to remember what it was like to be carefree and playful, and to bring that energy back into your relationship. Or it could be that you're being asked to look back at the beginning of your connection and to remember what it was that drew you to each other in the first place. And it's like, sometimes we forget those things when we're in the midst of the chaos and the intensity of a twin flame connection. And the Six of Cups is there to remind us of the love and the joy that brought us together. And that is so important. But like, the Six of Cups can also be a warning sign in a twin flame connection. And it is like, it can be a sign that you're getting too caught up in the past, or that you're idealizing the relationship, or that you're not seeing things clearly. And it is like, you have to be careful not to let nostalgia blind you to the present, and you have to be willing to see your twin flame for who they are, not for who you want them to be. And that can be really hard, especially when you have such a deep connection with someone, but it's necessary. So it is like, don't ignore the red flags, don't make excuses for their behavior, and don't let the past cloud your judgment. And that is so important. And remember, we've got that opal there, so it's like, you're being protected as you navigate these past memories and these potential reconnections. It's like you're not being left vulnerable or exposed, you're actually being guided and supported. And it's like, the opal is helping you to see things clearly and to make wise decisions, and to protect yourself from any negative energy or manipulation. And that is so reassuring. This card can also represent a gift or an offering, and it can be something tangible, like a physical present, or it can be something intangible, like a kind word or an act of service. And it is like, you're either being called to give a gift to someone, or you're about to receive a gift from someone. And it's like, this gift is coming from the heart, and it's meant to bring joy and happiness. And it's important to be open to receiving these gifts, and to not feel like you don't deserve them, because you do. You deserve all the good things in life, and you deserve to be happy. And it's like, the universe is conspiring to bring those things to you, and you just have to be willing to receive them. And that is so powerful. It is almost like being rewarded, so stay open to receiving these gifts. It can also mean that you are feeling nostalgic for a simpler time in your life, a time when you were carefree and happy, and it is like, you're longing for that sense of innocence and joy, and you're trying to find a way to bring it back into your life. And it can be as simple as spending time with children, or watching a funny movie, or listening to your favorite music. Or it can be something more profound, like reconnecting with your inner child and healing old wounds. But whatever it is, it's important to honor that longing and to find ways to nurture your inner child, and that will bring you so much peace and happiness. Also, the Six of Cups can sometimes represent community, and it is like, you're feeling called to connect with others who share your values and your interests, and you're looking for a sense of belonging. And it can be as simple as joining a club, or volunteering for a cause, or attending a workshop. Or it can be something more profound, like creating your own community. A safe space where people can come together and support each other. But whatever it is, it's important to find your tribe, and to surround yourself with people who lift you up and inspire you. And that will make all the difference in your life. And I feel like it can mean you are looking for people who have been through similar experiences. And you feel that sense of community and understanding when you are all together, supporting one another, and that can be so powerful. So, the Six of Cups is all about the past. But it's not just about the past, and it is about how the past influences the present, and how you can use the lessons of the past to create a better future. And it's about finding that balance between nostalgia and progress, and about honoring your inner child and connecting with your community. And it's about giving and receiving gifts from the heart. And it's about twin flames reconnecting and healing and moving forward together. And it's about the opal protecting you every step of the way. And it's like, what a beautiful and complex card. I love this card. I feel like this card has really shown that the past can be something that can really influence your future, so it's important to embrace it, learn from it, but not to get stuck in it, you know? Okay, so I am so ready for the next card because I have no idea where this reading is going, but wow, is it getting good? What is going to come up next? Okay, so I am so ready for the next card because I have no idea where this reading is going, but wow, is it getting good? What is going to come up next? Okay, drum roll please. And the last card we have is Judgment. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is huge. Like seriously huge. So Judgment is all about like awakening, rebirth, a calling, answering the call, you know. It's like a major wake-up call, and it's a time to really assess things, you know? To see what's working and what's not, to release the old and embrace the new, and it's about making big decisions, you know? Like life-altering decisions. So, like, after all of that stuff with the Six of Cups and those echoes of the past, it's like, now you're being called to, like, really evaluate everything, you know? To see what you've learned and how you've grown and what you need to do to move forward. It's like all those past experiences, all those memories, they're all coming together to inform this moment of truth, you know. It is about that time where you are sitting there asking yourself the big questions. And like, think about the sun, right? That clarity, that illumination, it's like, that's helping you to see things as they really are, without any illusions or delusions, you know. And the Wheel of Fortune, with all those cycles and changes, it's like, that's been preparing you for this moment, this turning point, this big decision, you know? It's about that destiny that has been playing out. And the Star, with all that hope and healing, it's like, that's giving you the faith and the courage to step into this new chapter, you know? So that is preparing you to be able to step into what you are being called to do. But like, it's not just about those positive cards, you know? We also had that Five of Wands, with all that conflict, and it's like, that's reminding you that you're going to face challenges along the way, but you have the strength and the resilience to overcome them, you know? And the Page of Wands, with all that new inspiration, it's like, that's giving you the energy and the enthusiasm to pursue your dreams, even when things get tough, you know? So, that is there as a driving force to keep pushing you forward. So, like, Judgment is really about integrating all of those different energies and experiences, and using them to make a conscious choice about your future, you know? And like, that Six of Cups and that nostalgia, it's all part of this process, you know? It's about honoring your past, but not getting stuck in it, and about using those memories to inform your decisions, but not to dictate them, you know? It is so important not to allow your past to dictate the future. And the Judgment card is like saying, okay, it's time to rise above all that, it's time to make a clean break from the past, and it's time to step into your true potential. And it is like, you are ready to do this. And with the echoes of the past theme, it's like, this is the ultimate echo, you know. It's like all those past actions, all those past decisions, they're all coming back to you now, and they're demanding to be acknowledged and integrated and ultimately forgiven, you know. And like, that's not always easy, but it's necessary, and it's like, the Judgment card is giving you the strength and the courage to do that, and it is like, all this is part of the journey. So this could be about like a major life change, you know? Like a new career, a new relationship, a new home, anything that feels like a fresh start. And that's aligned with your true purpose, you know? Like, it's not just about making a change for the sake of change, it's about making a change that's going to bring you closer to your authentic self and to your highest potential, you know? And it's like you're being guided to make this change, you're being supported, and you're being encouraged to take that leap of faith. And that is so exciting, you know? Or it could be about a big decision that you've been putting off. And it's like, you know what you need to do, but you've been afraid to do it. And the Judgment card is like, saying, okay, no more excuses, no more procrastinating, it's time to make that decision, and it's time to move forward. And it's like, you're ready to do this, you have the power, you have the wisdom. And you have the support of the universe, and that's all you need, you know. You just have to trust yourself and trust the process, and trust that everything is going to work out for the best. And because we have the opal there, protecting you, it feels like you're being divinely guided through this process, you know? It's like, you're not alone, you're being watched over, and you're being given all the resources you need to succeed, and that is so reassuring, you know? And it's like, the opal is reminding you to stay grounded, to stay centered, and to stay true to yourself, even when things get chaotic. And even when you're facing difficult decisions, and it's like, you have the strength and the resilience to overcome any challenges that come your way, and the opal is there to help you do that. And that is so powerful, you know. If we're thinking about twin flames, the Judgment card can be a really significant card. And it is like, it can signify a major turning point in the connection. And it can be a sign that you and your twin flame are being called to come together in a new and more authentic way. And it is like, you're both being asked to release any old patterns or beliefs that are no longer serving you. And to step into your true potential as a couple. And that is so exciting, you know. Or it can be a sign that it's time to make a decision about the relationship. And it is like, you've been struggling with this for a while, and you're not sure what to do, and the Judgment card is like, saying, okay, it's time to get clear about what you want, and it's time to make a choice that's aligned with your highest good. And it's like, that choice might be to stay together. Or it might be to separate, but whatever it is, it's important to make that choice consciously, and to not let fear or obligation dictate your decision, and that is so important, you know. It is about what is right for you, and what you are being called to do, and that is something that you need to really think about. And the protective energy of the opal will help. So, like, what does this all mean? Well, it means that you're at a crossroads, you know. It means that you're being called to make a big decision, and it means that you have the power to create a new and more fulfilling future for yourself. And it is like, you're not alone, you're being guided and supported, and you have all the resources you need to succeed. And it's like, all you have to do is trust yourself, and trust the process, and trust that everything is going to work out for the best. And that is so empowering, you know. And like, practically speaking, what can you do with this information? Well, you can start by, like, taking some time for self-reflection, and it is like, ask yourself what you really want, what your values are, and what your purpose is, and then, like, look at your past experiences and see how they've shaped you, and what lessons you've learned, and then, like, make a conscious choice about your future, and it is like, don't be afraid to take risks. And don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, and don't be afraid to ask for help, and just remember that you're not alone, and that you're being supported every step of the way, and that is so beautiful, you know. This is your moment, and you have the power to make it amazing, and you can do it. It is about answering the call. So, yeah, Judgment. It's like a wake-up call, a turning point, a new beginning, and it's all happening for your highest good, and you are ready for it, and it is so exciting. Okay, I can't wait to see how all of this plays out, because this reading has been so powerful, and it is like, I feel like you're on the verge of something amazing, and it is like, just trust the process and trust yourself, and everything is going to be great. Now that you are answering your call. Okay, so, like, after all that, after the sun shining light on everything, the wheel turning and turning, the star giving us all that hope, the Five of Wands throwing in a little chaos, the Page of Wands sparking that new inspiration, the Six of Cups bringing back those memories, now we have Judgment. Like, can you even believe it? This is like the culmination of everything, you know. It's like all those echoes of the past have been leading you to this moment, this point of, like, total transformation. So, the Judgment card, right? It's not just about judgment in the sense of, like, good or bad. It's about, like, making a decision, a really big decision. It's about answering a call, like a calling, you know. And it's about, like, rebirth, like shedding the old and stepping into the new. Think of it like you've been in a cocoon and now it's time to emerge as a butterfly. And with all the other cards we've had, it's like you've been preparing for this moment your whole life, you know. The sun gave you that clarity, so you could see things as they really are. The Wheel of Fortune put you through those cycles, so you could learn and grow. The star filled you with hope, so you could keep going even when things got tough. And that Five of Wands, like, even that was important, because it showed you that you're strong enough to handle conflict and challenges. And that Page of Wands, that's your inner spark, your passion, your excitement for life, like, that's what's gonna fuel you forward. And even the Six of Cups, with all those memories, it's like, that's reminding you where you came from, who you are, and what's truly important to you. So it's like, don't forget those lessons, and don't forget that inner child. So Judgment is like, it's time to take all of that, all of those experiences, all of those lessons, and use them to make a conscious choice about your future, you know? It's time to decide what you want and to go for it, and to not let anything hold you back. It is seriously time to make a decision. And because we're talking about twin flames, this card is huge, like seriously significant, you know? It could mean that you and your twin flame are being called to come together in a new way, a more authentic way, a more aligned way, you know? It's like you've both been through so much, you've both learned so much, and now it's time to put all that into practice and create something amazing together. Or it could mean that it's time to make a decision about whether or not to stay together. And like, that's a really hard decision, I know, but it's important to be honest with yourself and to listen to your intuition and to do what's right for you, even if it's scary, you know? And whatever that decision is, make sure that it is the right one for you, because if it is not, that is not good. And remember, we've got that opal there, protecting you, guiding you, shielding you from any negative energy, you know? So you're not alone in this, you're being supported by the universe, and you have the strength and the wisdom to make the right choice. It is there like a filter. So, like, what does all of this mean for you right now? Well, it means that you're at a turning point, a major turning point, and it means that you have the power to create a life that is truly aligned with your soul, you know? A life that is filled with joy, purpose, and love, and you can do it. And it's not just about, like, dreaming about it. It's about taking action, it's about making a plan, it's about setting goals, and it's about taking those first steps towards your dreams, even if they're small steps, even if they're scary steps, you know? Every step counts, and every step is bringing you closer to where you want to be, you know? So, like, practically speaking, what can you do? Well, first, take some time for yourself, you know? Go for a walk in nature, meditate, journal, do something that helps you connect with your inner self, and listen to your intuition. And ask yourself what you really want, what your values are, what your purpose is, and what you are truly being called to do, you know. And then, look at your past and see what lessons you can learn from it, and see what patterns you need to break, and see what wounds you need to heal, and be honest with yourself and be compassionate with yourself. And remember that you're human and you're allowed to make mistakes, you know. Nobody is perfect, so you need to be kind to yourself. And then, make a decision. A conscious decision about your future, and don't let fear hold you back, and don't let other people's opinions sway you. And don't let the past dictate your choices, and just trust your gut and follow your heart, and do what feels right for you, and take a leap of faith. And then, take action, start small, but start, and set a goal for yourself, and break it down into smaller steps, and celebrate your progress along the way, and don't give up, even when things get tough, and remember that you're not alone, and that you have the support of the universe, and that you have the strength and the resilience to overcome any challenges that come your way. And this card can really help you out, so that is wonderful. And if you're feeling lost or confused, reach out for help, talk to a friend, a therapist, a coach, a mentor, someone who can offer you guidance and support, and remember that it's okay to ask for help, and it's a sign of strength, not weakness. And it is so crucial to reach out when you feel like you need it, you know. And most importantly, believe in yourself and believe in your dreams, and believe that you're worthy of love, happiness, and success. And know that you have the power to create a life that is truly amazing. And it is you are so powerful, you know. You have so much potential, you have so much to offer the world, and you just need to believe in yourself and trust the process and take that leap of faith. And that opal there will protect you. So, this is your moment, this is your time, this is your chance to create the life you've always dreamed of. And you can do it, I know you can, and I'm so excited for you, and I can't wait to see what you create. And it's the universe is conspiring to help you succeed, and you just have to be open to receiving all the blessings that are coming your way. And it is get ready for an amazing journey, because you are about to take off. And remember, you are a divine being, you are worthy of all good things, and you are loved, you are supported, and you are capable of creating a life that is truly extraordinary. And that is the most important message of all, and you are protected as you discover this about yourself. Okay, so that's it, that's the reading, and it's I'm feeling so much excitement and hope for you. And I know that you're going to do amazing things, and I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of your journey, even in this small way. And it is Just go out there and shine your light, and create the life you've always dreamed of, and know that you are loved and you are supported. And you are capable of anything, and that Opal will stay by your side.